I don't stand in line, I don't pay for clubs, fuck that. But I'll wait for you. I don't like to drink, I don't like to think, fuck that. Oh. But I'll ponder you, bending it over my four-leaf clover. I'm so in love, so in love. There's no one above, up above. Forever's a long time, yes. My blue jeans will last me all my life. Oh, yes. So should we be spending all this time? Oh. Met you at the shop, sun was getting hot, I'm lonely. Yeah. I'm in the city on my own. Never would have thought you'd be the one to hold me. That's the way it goes. I'm reaching nirvana. Goodbye, sweet Rwanda. High school was never for me. I say let it be, let it be. Forever's a long time, yes. My blue jeans will last me all my life. Oh, yes. So should we? I'm spending all this time. Don't even know. Don't even know. Paying for luxury. I'm paying for go to the moon.
Nigga, I'm on the moon, money my pocket while I geeked off a shroom. See now these colors, I don't know what to do. That's not your bitch, that's
that's not your boo, that's not your bitch, get a hoe finna choose.
Yeah, I been sipping on pink, but fuck what you think. Life ain't real like drink. Popping them pills, really don't know how to feel. But nigga, this shit be ill. And anything on tap, put a little nigga on fast. Nigga, I ain't gon' box. Bitch, cause of dope. I'ma just head to the top, but I already know what I'm not.
She don't go to the mall. She don't go to the mall. She don't go to the Yeah, I'm done with these lies, so I'm telling the truth. I wanna crash while I'm swerving the coupe. Going 200 while I look out the roof. Look to my side and damn you. Yeah, I'm done with these lies, so I'm telling the truth. Hope I don't crash while I'm swerving the coupe. Going 200 while I look out the roof. Look to my side and it's you.
Everything husky.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing. Tomorrow's here again.
It's a brand new day, never hold on to hate. Cause you was placed here to be great. Please take your place. All queens got a seat at my table. Cause without y'all, then the man ain't able. Melanated queen, connected to the universe. And so I gotta thank my mom for my birth. If hate is the curse, then love is the remedy. So I send you love no matter creed or identity. Until infinity, look at you like you kin to me. Even when we disagree, yo, you still kin to me. In other words, I can't bring you no trouble, can't bring you no beef, don't wanna see you deceased. Now if I'm coming at you, I'm coming with a business plan. Cause every day I'm on some, yo, let's get this money, man. Yeah, and that's my real plans. I rest my head at night, I wake up, I got another plan.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing. Tomorrow's here
It's a
again.
lot of high rappers tell me why we don't get money together, but we'll kill each other over whatever. Running down the freeway, we gonna own down. If Black Lives Matter, why we gonna own down? That's why they laugh and they think that we clowns. They hear what we say, but see how we get down. We gotta change that now, right now to be exact. Cause hurting that man's moms is not where it's at now. Old school, new school, need to learn, yo. They put us in groups so they can make more dough. The young versus the old versus the young. Black versus white, you see the pattern, right? No unity, keep them all on some gutter-ish. This way they don't prosper and get rich. Yo, can't you see it's a trick? Just open your third eye and you'll see the full view of it. Now yo, what if the powers that be know that the real power lies within the people? That's us. And what if they using things like crayon colors, black and white, to separate the people? Hey, yo, you gotta wake up. Don't let them fool y'all. Spread love.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing. Tomorrow's. Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing. Tomorrow's here again. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We're back in here. Good morning, y'all. You know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We are back at it with a very special episode of the Music Morning Show. Looking forward to this one, man. How are y'all doing today? Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another amazing episode of the Music Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE Beats of ClassEbeats.com. And today, man, we've got a very special episode, as I mentioned. Woo! It's going to be a good one. Y'all do not want to miss out on this episode. We have an amazing guest today, and attorney Javier M. Bailey II is going to be in here, and we're going to be going over the complaint that was filed against DJ Akademiks here recently and give you guys some insight into what's going on, maybe some details or some things you didn't notice or didn't think about, and you guys will be able to answer or ask questions of Javier. I want to call him Javier LaFleur so bad. Mr. Bailey over there, Javier Bailey. It's gonna be a good time. All right, so y'all stay locked in. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. It's good to see y'all, man. Let me say what's up to the chat. First of all, we got YK Assassins in here. Good to see you. He says best show in the world. You already know. Wood Drummer's in the building. We got Hollywood Coles over there in the chat singing. Smokey the One's in the building. Good to see you. Jakey G's in here. He said, I swear to God, I'm not drunk.
Stop the cap.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving. Who else we got? Jen the Great is in the building too. She says, good morning, ClassE and friends. Shout out to Jen the Great. Jen, they were asking about you last night. Everybody was looking for Jen. So shout out to Jen. She's a pillar of the community and is a big part of what we do here at the ClassE Beats YouTube channel as well. So shout out to her. Who else we have in here? I said what's up to Smokey's in the building. Vortex is up in here too. Man, appreciate everybody who's in here. So we're gonna get Mr. Bailey up here in a second, but before we do that, there's a couple things I want to go over for y'all. Again, if you're new to the show, if you want to submit your music, you definitely can. The link to submit is in the description, and if you're watching on BandLab, you'll be able to find it in the live chat. Y'all can drop your links right there. We should be able to get to some music today, but I'm not sure. We might take up the whole time going through this complaint, so y'all stay tuned for that. Also, last night, oh my gosh, if y'all missed it, you definitely missed out. Last night was crazy. We had another amazing show. We kicked off the show with a versus challenge featuring 3 amazing artists. We had Blue, we had Dante, and then we had Puma Red. Puma Red came out with the win last night and claimed that 8th spot in the season 8 tournament. All right, so shout out to Puma Red and everybody who is in the tournament so far. Nick Flanagan's in there, Lanisha Houston. We got Greg Dose, Lily, Dizzy Days. We've got Hollywood Co. Y'all see him in the chat. Stizzy Too Hard, and then Puma Red got that 8th spot last night. So there are just a few more spots left. Only 6 spots left with me, which means the tournament is less than 6 weeks away. So if y'all want to get a spot in the tournament, make sure you tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night for the Song of the Night Live. We have a good time, get to hear some great music, and we give away cash, brand new microphone, and some door prizes too. Also, shout out to my guy KO over at Roast and Review. We had Roast and Review on the show last night. It's crazy. It's good to see him in there. Definitely one of the OGs of music reviews, because he's out there doing it big. So shout out to him again for stopping by the show last night. Let me see how everybody's doing in the chat. Wood Drummer says, I have a guitar trap album of beats coming out tomorrow. Oh yeah, let's go. Definitely make sure you stop by the show and share that with us tomorrow, Wood Drummer. That's super dope. Shout out to you. And then Jen says, Jakey G is always drunk. That's hilarious, man. Vortex says, what's good? Jen says, I was working my butt off. I know. Yeah, I absolutely know, Jen. So that's what I told him. I said, y'all, Jen's probably working, so just let her relax. Smokey the One said Mavs went crazy. Had to get that out there. Oh man, shout out to the Mavericks. I told y'all, man, this was gonna be a good series. I picked the Mavericks to win this series just because it's not OKC's time yet. They're so young. You've got a lot of veterans on the Mavericks team that know what they're doing. They know how to get up and down the court. They know what championship basketball looks like, especially as your point guard with Kyrie Irving. So it's going to be that way. I got another prediction. I think Denver is going to close out the series tonight. I told y'all I can't remember at what point I said it. I think halfway through the season, definitely before the playoffs started, that they were gonna repeat this year. They just got everything that you need. Y'all see what Joker's doing over there. That man is crazy. 0 turnovers, what? 40 something points, and 13 assists. That's amazing, man. Shout out to Smokey though. I'm looking forward to that game tonight. It's an early game too. I'm just glad that game's not tomorrow, because then we would miss the closing out of the series. Let me see. Wood Drummer says, I won't get to see it. I have lunch duty in 10 minutes. Oh man. He says, but I'll watch the replay. Okay. Yeah, that's dope. It's dope. Definitely looking forward to the replay gang showing up. Now, because of the nature of this complaint we're going to be reviewing today, I might not make it public over on the ClassE Beats YouTube channel. We'll see how it goes, how much detail we get into, but I actually might have to make it over on the members only side. So y'all just be aware that if you see the video isn't up later, it's probably because I had to put it on the members only side. So keep that in mind. We've got Kuma's in here. The new timer says, what's good? Let's get into it. Yeah, we're about to here in a minute. Smoking the One says, stop it. Yeah. Yeah. The Mavs has got him. Let me see. Vortex said, the link I sent in is just to let y'all know what's been going on. I think it's fair that everyone should know. Okay. Sounds good. Shout out to Vortex. Jen says, my member star is gone. Oh no. Well, if you want to become a member, since Jen mentioned that, it is super easy to do. All right. So all you have to do is go over to the ClassE Beats YouTube channel. And then we'll go to my channel, and then you'll see this button right here that says join. Once you click join, you will be able to select which tier that you want to join. We have the gold tier, platinum tier, and the diamond tier as well. All right. So super easy to do. Again, it's not required, but there are benefits that come with being a member. You get special emojis you guys get to use inside the chat. You get priority plays on this show and on the Song of the Night live show. And also you guys get first access to any new videos that we're dropping, and also exclusive members only videos over there too. So yeah, shout out to Jen. You gotta get your memberships in there, man. Yeah, Jen, you gotta make sure you set that up. I wish I could do the memberships for y'all, but you've got to set it up through YouTube. So we're gonna get Javier Bailey here in just a second, but there is one video I wanted to go over for y'all real quick before we actually get into this complaint. Now, speaking of this complaint, y'all, this complaint is a lot of pages. It's over 30 pages. We're not going to go through all of them, but the information in here is pretty wild. So y'all make sure you stay tuned and let me know in the chat if y'all can see everything, if it's clear, because I want y'all to be able to read this and see it for yourself as well. Smoking the One says, when are you dropping more presets? I don't know. Maybe soon. I'd rather the presets. Here is the issue I had with the preset packs. If y'all want them, I can make them. Maybe I can make some that are more like popular artist focused. Like I'll have a Gunna preset pack or a Lil Wayne preset pack. But the presets, what I found is people or artists were dropping the presets on their songs and not actually adjusting them, which, you know, isn't the purpose really of the presets. So instead, I'd rather review y'all's song, work on them live, do some mixing and mastering there, and then give you a personal preset. That way you can kind of have something that doesn't need to be adjusted as much. But if you guys want more presets, I can definitely do that, man. So y'all have to let me know. Jen said, dang, I spent enough money. That is true, Jen. And if I could give you a membership, I definitely would. Because Jen supports a ton. A shout out to her. What else we have in here? All right, let's get into our subject, and then we'll bring Mr. Bailey up here in a second. So let me go here. Make sure we're good. All right, and we've got a couple of y'all watching over on X too. Shout out to everyone over there. All right, here we go. Shout out to Triple C. He says, I'm late, man. Just woke up. Hey, you are right on time, brother. You are absolutely right on time. All right, here we go. So I want to kick off this segment by playing this video. DJ Akademiks was talking with Aiden Ross, and I kind of want to look at and go over some of the things we talked about yesterday, because again, I know this is the internet. People are going to troll. They're going to say crazy stuff that they probably wouldn't say in person, but it's just interesting to see the sentiment of a lot of people in these comment sections. And as they're hearing DJ Akademiks clearly and consistently explain the situation and what's going on, it's just, it makes you wonder, man. It makes me wonder, if I were in this situation, how would this go? Because people, when it comes to the benefit of the doubt, they usually don't give it to you, no matter who you are. But let's check this one out. Y'all let me know what you think. That is not what I meant to do. Hold on 1 second. There we go.
Why are they saying you raping people, bro? Like, what's going on with that? I know you're not a rapist, bro. So, like, why are they saying that?
Yeah, no. And you know, of course, because it's a legal situation, I can't talk too much about it. It is a legal situation.
Really?
Well, it's a civil suit. So somebody claimed some shit. The police came in. Everything is just like you. I'm pretty sure you have a camera right where you're at.
Yeah.
Everything in my house, when anybody comes to my house, I literally tell them everything in my house is recorded, audio and visual. If you walk anywhere, if you steal anything, it's recorded.
Of course.
Okay, some shit
smart.
happened. I don't want to, again, the reason why I don't want to just like, you know me, I love to talk and break it down, but they're trying to throw defamation in there. Like, you know what I mean? Just, that's how they'd be like, oh, you're slandering people. So I'm just going to keep it to like just generally the facts and not really say too much. They said some shit happened with some other people at my house. Everything was recorded. The police got involved. They looked at everything. Everything's on videotape. Like we assisted the police. Like, you know me. You know, I'm not no snitch, but I definitely helped the police. You know what I mean? Like I was on my gun.
He said, I'm not a snitch, but I definitely helped the police. Oh man. I don't think that counts as him being a snitch. If you're trying to protect yourself, man, I don't know. To me, y'all have heard my definition of a snitch. It's, to me, a snitch is if somebody's involved in something and then they go and tell on the other people that did it. I mean, you're snitching, man. That's wild. But Akademiks is crazy for that.
Anyway, they reviewed everything. They said, oh, okay, all right, well, this isn't what we heard happen.
Why are they saying you raping people, bro? Like, what's going on with that? I know.
All right, so Akademiks is all in there, and y'all could see people in the comments and what the sentiment is, which is really sad to me in the first place, because Akademiks has already said when it comes to the criminal side of things, nothing came of that case. Now, that's not to say that something couldn't happen in the future. We talked about that a little bit earlier, and we're going to talk about it some today. But it's just funny to see, even after all the investigation, after his house being raided, he's still getting thrown under the bus by the court of public opinion. This person says, if he was innocent, he would talk about it. He is trying to incriminate himself. He's guilty. What? Man. And this person says, man, looking at the comments on this is crazy. I've learned that the chat/internet will be the internet no matter what. It says, by the time you choose the side of the minority because of personal preferences, people will just choose to be against you. Regardless, whatever you say, proof you give, good luck, fam. All the best with everything. Yeah, there's no innocent until proven guilty anymore, man. And we're going to talk about it. And this person says, why he deactivated his account, though? You guilty, bro. I'm sure his lawyers advised him to deactivate it. Not deactivate it, but he probably had some things that he needed to archive just so they can go through everything, review all the evidence, because you guys know anything he said on the live stream is going to be used if this case goes to trial. This person says, I believe the allegations. Man, this dude is guilty. His favorite chord is A minor. Oh man. All right. So y'all, this is what Akademiks is dealing with. It's definitely looking like an uphill battle. And as we review this complaint coming up here in a second, y'all are going to see even more of some of the allegations that are being levied against him. So let's go ahead and get to it. I see we've got my guy Javier Bailey in the back, ready to get on camera. So let me go ahead and bring him up. And as I mentioned to y'all, you're going to have an opportunity to call in later on in the show and ask some questions or give your thoughts. So the link to call in is in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Let me make sure he's ready. Javi, are you ready? Can you hear me okay? Looks like there might be a little delay. Hold on a second. Let me see if he's good. Try this.
Can you hear me now, ClassE?
Yeah, there he is. Javier LaFleur is in the building. We're not gonna introduce you like that. Hold on a second. Let me get you up let me get you up on camera real quick, and then we'll introduce you properly. So let me get rid of this. Oh yeah. Here we go. Y'all give it up for the attorney at law, Mr. Javier M. Bailey II, up on the screen, man. Appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you for stopping by. Wow. How are you doing, first of all?
Man, doing great, man. Man, like I said, glad to be here, man. Been waiting on this opportunity for a while now, it seems.
No, man, it's an opportunity for us. I know I've got a lot of questions. I know you have so much wisdom and insight to give on this topic as well. So definitely looking forward to it. It's an honor to have you here, and I appreciate you taking the time because I know you got a lot going on and your time is super valuable as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So can you do me a favor? I know a lot of people in the community, they know you as the spitter, Javier LaFleur, but
Yeah.
as we know now, there's more to you than just the music. So can you give a little bit of your background, your professional background, what got you into law in the first place, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I know the community knows me as Javier LaFleur. But on the attorney side, I'm a Javier M. Bailey II. Uh, been a lawyer for a little over 2 years now.
Wow.
Still fairly new, but just in those 2 years, man, I've gotten a vast amount of experience. I mean, from handling, and I primarily do the criminal side right now.
Awesome.
Just handling all types of cases, man. Any types you can think of, man. It's just been great. It's just been a great experience. I love it. Passionate about it. I think the how I got into law. I think the idea. My family on my dad's side have lawyers in the family, so I kind of grew up around it. Growing up, I rebelled against it. I didn't want to really be a lawyer, but made a lot of sense when I got older, and it was time to start working for a living.
Yeah, it's in the blood, man. You can't get away from it, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I guess with being in law 2 years, I know I actually served on a grand jury here in Atlanta for, God, it felt like forever. It was just 4 months, and we went through hundreds of cases during that time.
Yeah.
And I learned, when I say I learned a lot about the law locally and federally, man, my eyes were open so much. So I'm sure in the past 2 years, you've seen so much, especially being on the criminal side.
Man,
but I guess
a lot, man. I mean, yeah. I wish I could walk around. I wish I had a camera attached to my head.
Yeah.
You know, when I go to work every day, because it's really a movie. I couldn't make it up.
Well, I guess the biggest thing for me is when it comes to the criminal side of law, what made you want to go that direction? And can you kind of explain the two differences between the criminal side and the civil side?
Sure. So, the civil side, I have some experience in civil law, personal injury side as well. Um, before I went to law school, and even after when I graduated from law school, I worked in my granddad's law firm, and he does civil law. To do personal injury law, and it's plaintiff law. So if we were to do this civil case with, let's say, with DJ Academics, this specific case, we would be the one filing the lawsuit. We'd be representing Miss Abash,
Yeah,
whatever, is that her last name?
I think that's
Yeah,
how it's pronounced.
we'd be
Yeah.
re- yeah. So I have a lot of, I've been through a lot of the litigation procedure through civil, as well. So I've got some experience with that. So I can tell you the differences between the two. Um, well, one, this is a civil lawsuit. The remedy is money. This is all that this is about, is money, money, money. That is the remedy for this.
Hmm.
And of course, dealing with criminal, uh, the remedy is your freedom, it's your liberty.
Right.
That's, that's really what you're fighting for on the criminal side, your life, your freedom. But this is not criminal. Um, if DJ Academics somehow loses this lawsuit, he's not going to jail. May hit his pockets, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, he's definitely
yeah,
it sounded like from what he was saying in the videos we reviewed yesterday that he's ready to take this all the way. Now, I'm sure as you
yeah.
know and have seen in some of the civil cases you handed, in a lot of cases it might not go to trial. I mean, is there a reason that you could say why it normally doesn't happen, or are we totally wrong and do most cases go to trial?
No, I would. I wish I could have pulled up an actual percentage, but if I had to estimate, man, I would guess that probably about 95 to 97% of civil cases get settled out of court and don't go to
Wow.
trial.
Sheesh.
Yeah, because it's very formal. It's paper pushing. It's constant communication between both parties and both sides. So in the litigation process in the civil suit, they give you a lot of opportunity to try to resolve it before you actually get to court.
Right.
There's a lot of measures you go through to try to resolve this case, before you actually have to go to trial and let a jury decide, um, who's the winner from the case. Um, but yeah, yeah, it takes a while though.
When it comes to these type of civil cases, is it what's the biggest reason that it settles before it goes to trial in your opinion?
In my opinion, so this, let me just say that this type of civil suit is different from the ones we usually see.
Right.
Usually, civil suits, you usually see them filed against insurance companies.
Oh, okay.
So it's someone with, yeah, it's someone with big, company with big pockets, some type of big corporation, and usually they'll have an interest. Let's say liability is clear. Let's say it's clear that it's this company's fault that an injury occurred to someone.
Hmm.
um they would they may say, hey, it's easier for us to settle this and get this over with and get it out of the public eye, and just be done with it. Let's
Right.
just agree on a settlement amount, and we can be done with it. For a lot of companies, and including DJ Academics, even though he said that he intends to fully fight this, he actually would actually have an interest because he's a notable public figure, and these allegations are really, I would think, damaging to his reputation.
Yeah.
He would actually have an interest. Not saying that he's going to do it because I don't think he is, but he would actually have an interest in settling the case if to get it over with faster, to get it out of the public eye. The longer this drags on, the longer blogs are going to be picking it up.
Mm,
Hip hop media is going to write stories about it, so it stays in the public eye.
yeah.
But I do understand why he would want to fight it.
Yeah, it's just seeming like at the end of the day, I'm sure you know this as an attorney, sometimes you got to put your pride aside and say, hey man, listen, these hours, they're going to stack up, and if you want to pay me, fine, but just know if we go through this process, it's just going to be more of a headache, right?
Yeah, right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll add this on, with him. He feels, he feels, reason why he would want to not settle. He feels that he did absolutely nothing wrong,
Yes.
which is kind of evident about him. It's kind of evident in him talking about the situation publicly, even turning his surveillance footage over to the police
Hmm.
willingly like that. He feels like he has nothing to hide, and to him, I kind of watched some of his videos last night, but he was seeming to say that um, it could be seen as an admission of guilt. It's
Yes.
not. When you settle a Yeah, just because you settle a case, it's not an admission of guilt. But like I
Yeah.
said, he has an interest to make these allegations, these damaging allegations, go away. But a settlement on his behalf with him doing nothing wrong could be seen as a shakedown, a successful shakedown.
That's true. Yeah, and I guess you
Yeah.
could say, you could argue at some point that maybe it's better to, when it comes to your brand in the public eye, to be able to use the narrative of this being a shakedown versus you went to court and you potentially lost, and now you have that verdict against you. So, man, it's an overall tough place to be in, and yeah, we'll have the excuse me, we'll have to have the conversation about, in the eyes of the law in this particular civil case, is he actually innocent in this instance, right? Because if you're looking at it from a liability standpoint, did you allow someone to be put in harm's way? And I think that's something that we have to have the conversation about. And I mentioned yesterday, when it comes to these type of cases, you might not be the one that, well, I don't want to say pull the trigger, but you might not be the one that actually commits the offense. But if it happens at your house, if it happens in your car, you might be held liable and guilty in some way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It's called premises liability, and that's what I think he absolutely has a defense as to. I'm not gonna say the R word on your platform, but
I
as to the
appreciate it.
sexual, the sexual assault allegation. I think he has a defense to that. I think the defamation may have some legs to it, but even with the sexual assault allegation, there still could be some liability there because this did happen on your premises, and
Right.
you are responsible for what goes on your premises. But there's also a knowingly factor to it. You have to kind of know or be aware of what's potentially going on also. So it's a maybe there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. All right. Well, if you're ready, we're going to go ahead and get into this complaint now. Before we get into it, you guys, anything you hear during this live stream is not legal advice. All right. This is not legal advice.
Thank you.
If you want advice, you can contact, we'll get your information and find out what state you're in. And if you want people to contact you, if they need to get you on retainer, but this is not legal advice. This is all opinions and thoughts, and we're just reviewing this as content. All right. Javier, is there anything you want to say before we get into it as well?
No, man, I can't wait to hear y'all's questions, hear what you have to say about it, and I'm ready to get into it.
All right. And y'all ask questions as we're reviewing this too. I'll be putting some of the questions on the screen. And if it's something that is urgent, you can super chat, because that does highlight it and allows us to see it a little bit easier. All right. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull this up. Y'all let me know in the chat if you can see this okay, because if not, I can zoom in a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, y'all should be good there. All right, here we go. Superior Court of New Jersey Law Division, Essex County against, we've got, I've just been calling her Zaya because I don't know how to pronounce her first name, but we've got Miss Abashi, the plaintiff, versus Alan Livingston, aka DJ Akademiks. All right. So we're going to go through, read the introduction a little bit. We're not going to go through this too much because a lot of it just breaks down what we've already know in some sense, but I want to get Miss Abashi's side in here as well. So we got to give her credit. We got to give credit to Mr. Blackburn here who put this all together. So on or about July 16, 2022, the incident defendant Allen contacted Miss Abashi, which is Zaya, and invited her to come to his house and visit him in New Jersey. Even though it had been almost a year since they last saw each other, Miss Abashi did not suspect any ill intentions and agreed. All right. She was accustomed to visiting Mr. Allen at his home in New Jersey, and Mr. Allen would send a car to pick her up. All right. So nothing out of the ordinary, it seemed like. Miss Abashi lives in Pennsylvania. On the day of the incident, when Miss Abashi arrived to enjoy her evening, little did she know that defendant Livingston Allen, Akademiks we'll call him, and his two accomplices, oh man, stuff that they use that word. Oh my gosh. Okay, before we keep going, I hate to break it down here, Javier, but in these complaints, if you are the plaintiff, when it comes to the wording of the complaint, is it normal to assume guilt in the complaint, or is that a part of the process?
Yes, that's part of the process because
Okay.
you would assume you allege facts. You allege that certain facts happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you would assume guilt or make statements like that in the complaint is because the defendant side, DJ Academics and his team, have to respond and answer to this lawsuit. Okay, and
Right.
that's something that I was going to discuss to you all. I think this lawsuit at the top, it said, I think it was filed May the 13th. Okay. Usually, the defense side has 30 days from the filing of that lawsuit to answer this suit. So if this
Mm,
was filed 3 days ago, I'm expecting that DJ Academics team side will answer this lawsuit in the next 27 days. And how the answer will look, I don't know if you'll have it up whenever it does come
yeah,
out,
for
but
sure.
how an yeah, how answer to a lawsuit like this looks, it's not very complex at all. It's very straightforward. You go paragraph by paragraph and you either affirm or deny the allegations. That's how you answer a lawsuit.
Okay.
So they would if you take this first paragraph on or about July 16th, contact, even though it's almost been a year, no ill intentions. DJ Academics' team may just affirm that. They may just agree to that. There's nothing really out of the ordinary there. It doesn't, you know, doesn't assert any liability on Mr. Allen or DJ Academics.
Right.
So you can see, yeah, you can see defendant response to paragraph uh, affirms allegations in paragraph one. That's how they would answer, and they just go
Gotcha.
paragraph by paragraph.
Woo, man, this is
Yeah,
so many hours, but we'll keep it moving. All right, it says
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
the morning after the incident, we've got Miss Abashi was unaware of what happened. She only became aware after Mr. Allen showed her surveillance footage of her being assaulted by John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 on the pool deck. Wow. Which this does kind of back up what Akademiks said in his other videos. It says Miss Abashi was in shock and fearful after the reality of what had occurred set in. In the aftermath, Abashi reported Mr. Allen and his accomplices' actions to the police, and an SA kit was performed, evidencing that Miss Abashi had been assaulted. Now, this is something I mentioned yesterday, and I think Amy mentioned it in the chat too. When it comes to these, I think they call them, the SANE kits.
Sane.
Yeah.
Sane. Yeah.
When it comes to these SANE kits, when it comes to evidencing that there was an assault, I mean, do you have any insight into, I don't want to say what that process looks like, but what the evidence can show and how effective those are?
Well, to me, sane test kits are, depending on what you're trying to prove in the case. To me, they're more indicative that a sexual encounter or occurred instead of it can't really assert that a sexual assault happened, but it definitely can show that a sexual encounter happened. Now, whether that was consensual or not is
Right.
something that test can't show, but it definitely does affirm whether or not there's been a sexual encounter between two parties.
Okay, cool. All right. Number 5, it says, since reporting the horrific assault, Miss Abashi chose silence and remained silent until on or about December 30th, 2023. So did they say, I'm trying to look and see. Okay, so the incident took place on July 16th is what they're saying. And then she remained silent until on or about December 30th of 2023. And this is, it's seeming like the reason that this happened is because Akademiks' ex-girlfriend Cheyenne was doing a lot of talking and threatening to bring out information of things that were going on behind the scenes. And then Akademiks said, no, this isn't true. This is what actually happened. And then, of course, Miss Abashi, seeing that Akademiks was talking about her, came out and said, no, you're not even telling the truth. And then it actually led to this complaint being filed.
Right.
Which is, I mean, that's on Ak, it seems like, really, because she didn't say anything for almost 2 years. Miss,
I agree. I was gonna say I think she filed this because probably embarrassment that these type of allegations went public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just it's a whole mess, man. And it all really comes down to who Ak is deciding to surround himself with, whether it be his two friends, the John Does that were at the house when this occurred, or his ex-girlfriend Cheyenne, who was saying that she was going to expose everything. So this, oh man, this is just bad. Mr. Allen took to social media and defamed Miss Abashi. Mr. Allen accused Miss Abashi of voluntarily having y'all know what with his friends at his home while maintaining that he never participated at all. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good, and we're going to get to why this is probably going to be an issue later on. But Akademiks claim that he didn't do anything with her. But as we'll see later in the complaint, that there's possibly evidence that he did through text messages and things that they found in the SANG kit. This led to a spew of public slander as Mr. Allen accounted of what happened spread like wildfire on multiple media outlets. As detailed below, Mr. Allen made several public statements defaming Miss Abashi surrounding the events of her assault. She was filled with anger, and all suppressed, painful memories of that horrific night resurfaced. In her state of anger, Miss Abashi released a video addressing Mr. Allen's involvement in her assault. When Miss Abashi's account was published, Mr. Allen lashed out with false statements. Mr. Allen, I need to call him Akademiks because y'all are probably wondering who Mr. Allen is. Akademiks denied involvement, even though upon information and belief, DJ Akademiks' spermicide was discovered in the assault kit. Dang. Yeah, that's bad. That's not bad. So is the fact that he openly, I mean, it is a lie, right? If something happened, you find evidence that it happened and you said it didn't happen. I mean, that's going to be seen as a lie. Do you think this is going to be an issue if this were to go to court, or in their response that he said, you know, he didn't do anything with her and the kit is showing something different?
Yes, I was going to touch on that. I think the defamation charge actually has the most teeth and more and the most legs to stand on, if I'm being honest. Yeah, and that's because there's elements to proving defamation, and I did look it up, make sure New Jersey's laws were similar with ours, and it is with defamation. There has to be a defamatory statement, and defamatory just means damaging to one's reputation. That's all that means. A fancy word for hurts my reputation.
Right.
There has to be a defamatory statement. The plaintiff, Miss Abash, has to prove that that statement was in regards to her. That statement has to be made to a person or people other than her, which it was a tweet.
Yep.
So, you know, and all his followers, it went to the masses. The plaintiff must also prove that the statement is false. It's also a burden on the plaintiff, on Mr. Bosch, to prove that what DJ Akademiks said was not true at all. And last but not least, the false statement. The defendant must know that the statement was false, or a reckless disregard of whether it was true or not. And I think that last part, the reckless disregard of whether it was true or not,
Yeah.
is going to get him. Yeah, it's going to get him caught up because she's going to reference their text message exchange, where she's like, "Hey, I don't know what happened. Um, can you send me video?" You
Yeah.
know, her belief is she really doesn't know what happened, and I think that he tweeted out like, "You willingly had sex with my two mans," and that was, I was like,
Bad. It's bad,
it's
man.
it's 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 bad, man. I think that
Ah.
the defamation is gonna be his strongest. It's gonna be his hardest battle in this, oddly.
Yeah, and in
Yeah.
cases like this, what is normally the outcome? Say they win that part of the case. What is normally the outcome of a defamation case?
Usually it's like I said, the remedy in this is money. So I'm not sure. We don't have, this is only like the first half of the lawsuit. The second half will have a prayer where it'll actually show what they're asking for.
Ah, I see. Okay.
With, I don't know, yeah, where it's like we asked the court for $1 million for pain and suffering and damages, something like that. I could actually see what they're asking for. So it just depends on the type of damage someone suffered, type of case, what they're actually suing for. But if he was to lose, it would just hit his pockets.
Okay.
It would just
And
hit his pockets. Yeah.
is there some sort of burden of proof on them to show why they would be asking for a certain amount? Or is it just you throw out a number and then if a jury or a judge says, yeah, this sounds good, or you agree to it before trial, then that it is what it is?
You throw out a number,
Wow.
and the reason
Oh, man.
you throw out a so I'll tell you this, and I know that sounds kind of crazy because it doesn't
Oh,
seem like
man.
it's based. It doesn't seem like
Woo.
it's based on anything reasonable. So I can tell you
Yeah.
this: there have been lots of lawsuits that we filed where we sued for tens of millions, and we've settled in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands.
All right.
Okay, you start high, but the real expectation is you go really high, but the real expectation is that you may get a much lower ballpark figure settlement. You
All
know what I
right.
mean? But the reason why you ask for so high, you cannot get from the court what you do not ask for. So
That's true.
if the court, if you have to ask for that, you have to ask for what you want from the court. It's very important. It seems simple, but it's very important.
Yeah. All right. That's a great point. I appreciate you clearing that up. Let's keep. I
Yeah,
want to
no
read
problem.
a little bit more of this introduction because a lot of this we have heard. But let's get a few more in here. She says,
Go ahead.
all right. So we got DJ Akademiks and his two accomplices assault severely injured Miss Abash, which they're going to show pictures of, actually causing significant physical and psychological pain and suffering, loss of dignity, and invasion of her privacy. DJ Akademiks' public statements added to the harm Miss Abash was already silently suffering with. Dang. All right, here we go. Now we're getting into how everything's laid out, who's responsible. And I guess, Javier, do you want to give a background of what this party section is and why it's important to the complaint?
Right. So I know it may seem backwards that we just went through an introduction and then it's like we're introducing the parties.
Yeah.
But that is perfectly normal in a civil lawsuit. You want to give a general background first about what this is about. That's what any reader. We want to know, what is this about that we're looking at? We don't care who the parties are yet. Just what are we looking at? What is the basis of this lawsuit? And then after that, you will introduce the parties, okay? And the parties is just letting you know who everyone is in a lawsuit. As you'll see, they have DJ Akademiks, his real name Livingston Allen, and you'll see at the top in the title of the lawsuit, you'll see that DJ Akademiks is the only one listed by real name. The rest are listed by Jane Does, John Does, and ABC corporations. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because this young lady only had a personal relationship with DJ Akademiks. Um, and probably you can Google his real name, but
Right.
she probably personally knew his real name. These other two guys, that's why I see Jane Doe's, and when we go down in the complaint, they're Jane Doe or John Doe 1 and 2. Um, I, I believe the dude's name was Khalif, and his other friend's name was Slime.
Yep. Uh-huh.
But she only met them one day, you know, so she doesn't know their identity. She doesn't know their full name. So they're a John Doe 1 and 2, and the ABC corporations listed is not a corporation listed, but it is very possible that during the discovery process of this lawsuit, they can find out who actually backs academics, who's responsible for putting is it a corporation backing his live stream?
Yeah, like Kick.
Is it a right. And so you want to have that potentially named sort of as a John Doe corporation because you can add it in later. And make
Oh,
them
interesting.
and make
Okay.
them a party to the lawsuit. Yeah. And like I told you, the corporations, they have the deep pockets. So it's always going to be, they're always going to try to tie it to the person and their corporation. Same thing with Diddy, how they
Yeah.
sue Diddy and Bad Boy Records and
UMG.
UMG. Yeah. Nah, yeah.
So I guess if you're looking at it from the defendant side, if you have a civil action against you like this, does it somewhat benefit you that these bigger corporations are being mentioned in this section or in the claim at all? Because then you don't have the full burden on yourself, or is it just because they're being mentioned in this claim doesn't necessarily mean they might be accountable for this specific civil action?
Well, both could be true. Both could
Okay.
actually be true. But the first part.
Uh-oh, we might have lost him for a second. Hold on a second. Y'all bear with me. Let me see. There he is. He's back. Yeah, you're back, man. We can hear you.
Sorry, man, I got a phone.
Oh, I think we lost him. Dang. He's trying to end this phone call. All right, y'all give me a second. We'll bring him back up here in a second. Anyway, shout out to Javier, man. This is all really interesting because I mentioned the Diddy conversation yesterday, how if UMG was mentioned on, the lawsuit that Lil Rod was filing, it seems like it would be a benefit to him because UMG is going to put some more force behind trying to push to get this not dismissed, but either settle outside of court and not have to deal with any other issues from it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. All right. I think we got him back. Let me see if we're still good. Let me add.
Is my camera black?
Now I've got to add you back in here. Let me give me one second.
Okay.
Oh, it should be good. Yeah, your camera might be. It looks like it is black again, actually.
Okay, that's fine. Let me do the thing we did. There we go.
Oh yeah, perfect. All right, you're back. There he is. We got him back, y'all. We got him back. So let me do one more thing. All right, perfect. We're good. Yeah, so you were basically talking about is the benefit, if any, of having a bigger corporation being mentioned on the claim.
Yeah, so a good example of how a benefit of having a big corporation on your claim or on your being sued on your side, a good example of that would be insurance, car insurance. Let's say you have a wreck with someone and they file a lawsuit against you and your insurance. Well, it's a great thing that you have your insurance behind you because those are the ones with the deep pockets. So if you are found liable and you have to pay damages in this lawsuit,
right,
they would be the one who foots the bill.
That makes sense. Okay, cool.
And yeah. And that's exactly why you don't see civil suits filed against regular people because they don't have money.
Right. Now, is there, I mean, this is kind of going into the weeds and you don't have to get into it, but would it be normal for someone like Akademiks who has a deal with Kick which I guess could be possibly the ABC corporations, right? Would it be normal for them to have some type of either addendum or something in the contract he signed with them addressing legal issues like this that could possibly arise?
Yes. Yes, it could. They could have some language about whether they would provide their own counsel or lawyers for legal situations, things like that. They could have some language about not being liable legally for certain things.
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure that in his if he, in his contract with these companies, there's going to be
Oh
some
yeah.
language about about legal ramifications. But I can tell you this is that in these civil suits, it's not really snitching. I just want people to understand that.
Thank you
It's
for
all
saying
about
that.
yeah, it's different from criminal, okay?
Yeah.
In civil suits, people try to avoid liability.
Right.
And a lot of times the way you avoid liability is you have to shift the blame or shift the liability to someone else. So DJ Academics in this case is gonna say, hey, I wasn't at home. I was at a party, came home, drunk, and I passed out in my bed. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened with Miss Abash and my two friends, but if anything wrong happened, it needs to be taken up with my two friends. That's something like he'll say, but it's not snitching. It's avoiding liability, and that's perfectly normal in cases like this.
Well, and there's really no way for him to avoid it either because they've got the video footage of them doing what they did. So it's not like he could say, nah, it was all me. You know, I invited them over. I made them drinks. He was nowhere near the situation. So even if he wanted to,
I agree.
it just makes no sense for him to not tell the truth, which is kind of crazy to say.
I'll let you keep reading through the
Yeah.
introduction, but I'll offer my opinion about some of the allegations here shortly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely. All right, here we go. So the parties. The plaintiff, Abash, is a writer. This made me laugh so much, man. He says she's a writer. we all know
Stop the cap.
what the deal is, and Akademiks mentioned it. And I think if you looked briefly into her history, you could see what she does. Anyway, we'll keep it moving. She is a resident and domiciliary. I have never seen that word before, of the state of Pennsylvania. Defendant Akademiks is a social media antagonist and commentator, primarily known for his presence on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. All right, so I just want to go through here. I'm not going to read all of this. We know the John Does, they don't mention their names here, but we'll probably get to it in a second. And then it talks about the ABC corporations, which we just mentioned. All right. Jurisdiction, venue. I know this is probably, we're going to skip over this too. This is something for Javier to go over. All right. Now here's where it gets interesting. All right. Factual background. According to Miss Abash or Bash, I'm going to start calling her Zaya. She met DJ Akademiks online via social media on or about 2021. So they haven't known each other long. She began casually dating him, and he periodically invited her to his New Jersey home. Now, this I was not aware of. I didn't realize they had been casually dating because Akademiks made it sound like they were just friends and he hadn't talked to her for a year, which is another interesting point. I don't know if that'll have any weight moving on. But it says at the time, Miss Zaya lived in Pennsylvania. She did not have transportation, so Akademiks would send her a car service such as Uber, Lyft to pick her up in Pennsylvania and bring her to his home in New Jersey. As previously stated, on July 16th, 2022, DJ Akademiks contacted Zaya and invited her to visit him at his house in New Jersey. Zaya did not suspect any ill intentions, even though it had been almost a year since they had last seen each other. She was accustomed to visiting Mr. Allen, DJ Akademiks, and DJ Akademiks sent a car service to Pennsylvania to pick her up. Unbeknownst to Zaya, DJ Akademiks had an ulterior motive. When he invited her to his home on July 16th of 2022. So Javier, this is a surprising statement to me, especially in light of a lot of the text messages that we're seeing, the videos, the conversation they had at the party, the conversation they had leading up to her coming to his house. So, I mean, what would you say I guess in the way of having a burden of proof for this statement, does it really apply to the claim at all, or is it just they're adding some icing on top of it?
They're really so the little unbeknownst to Miss Abash
Yeah.
or Zaya, Mr. Allen had no ulterior motive. That's just icing on it. You
Okay.
know, it's like a little spooky story. It's like, oh, but little did he know he was planning this, this freak off or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So they really, oh man, this is just, again, just interesting, but I appreciate you helping us break this down. All right, we'll keep it moving.
yeah, no problem.
Before her arrival, Mr. DJ Akademiks had notified his friends John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 that a woman would be coming over and she was on a different type of vibes. But again, she said that in her own wording, I believe. And we'll get to the text messages here in a minute. I don't know if they included those specific text messages in the claim, but we'll get to it here. A different type of, and they describe what a different type of vibes is. Oh my God. A different type of vibes is an indication that Zaya would be coming over to engage in sexual activity. Is there a way to prove this, Javier? Or again, is that icing? Does it not matter?
It's just icing.
Okay.
So that particular paragraph is not really something to prove for the claim. It's just background for somebody who doesn't know what type of vibes is. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So
Yeah.
you do have to break this stuff down for like in layman's terms so people can understand what you're talking about.
That's hilarious. I would love to hear this being explained in court too. Actually, I have heard some cases read to where they explain certain types of things. And man, it gets funny in there. You got to hold back your laughter sometimes. According to a post on social media, Mr. Allen admitted to telling John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 and stated, "Now, granted, this is a girl who I've been dealing with for a couple of years. I messed with for years. When she came over that time, she told me she was like a dancer." All right. I guess we shouldn't say dancer. She's a writer, y'all. Some shit like that. I remember, and I don't know if maybe my ninjas took it the wrong way, because I remember she had told me, she was like, yo, the girl you used to know, like I'm on some bad girl vibes now type ish. Basically, she was like doing her thing. Now, Javier, they mentioned that he posted this on social media. A lot of people are saying he's looking guilty because his social media basically went black. As an attorney, if you were advising someone who had a similar case, would you say, hey, just shut it down?
Especially someone who is a blogger or someone who's in the media like Akademiks, because Akademiks is used to and even makes a living on making public statements and public posts. So when I think it'll be a erratic reaction for him to be hit with a lawsuit with these type of allegations and immediately take to the internet to try and address it. And that'll be bad because he could damage his case. And you better believe everything that Akademiks says regarding this case, even his live streams that he was making yesterday. I tuned in to a couple of them. They are looking at they're looking at every second of those videos.
Yeah. Dang.
To see whether he, slips up and affirms or denies something. I would tell Akademiks, if he was my client, you can still do live streams, but no, don't make any content about this case.
Yeah.
While it's pending. That's what I would tell him.
Yeah.
I think he's making a mistake talking more and more about it.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, if you want to come out and say, hey, we had the investigation and nothing came up criminally, I'm letting my lawyers handle this, and that is what it is. Fine, but man, he is going crazy.
I want to mention that also. It is interesting that the police raided his home in 2022.
Yeah.
And we're halfway through 2024 and no criminal charges have been filed. They have the actual surveillance video of the sexual assault or alleged sexual assault occurring, the full footage. It makes me wonder about the contents of the video. It makes me wonder, did the police maybe see this video and see it as consensual?
Mm-hmm.
That would be one of my guesses because a sexual assault happening like that, I would think that he would have already had criminal charges filed by now.
Yeah, cut and dry, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, and I guess it's hard to say in your experience because I'm sure you've seen this go the other way, but in your experience, is it normal for them to take this long or not press charges immediately when they have video footage and all of this evidence against them, allegedly?
No, it's unless they're still investigating or still trying to gather evidence, and for a local police department like this, they're not the Fed, so they're not taking forever to do an investigation.
Right.
Um, I would my guess would be, and I don't know this for sure, but my guess would be is that they didn't discover any wrongdoing on DJ Academics' behalf. That would be my guess when you have an actual, video footage of an assault like this occurring. My guess is that they reviewed it and didn't see any wrongdoing on his behalf. What they could, well, I won't go into like what they would see in the video that would show like consent, possible consent.
Well, I mean, she mentioned, or she doesn't, she's obviously not going to mention this in the complaint, but DJ Academics mentioned that she said to him, oh yeah, we had some drinks and I remember twerking, in my bathing suit for them. So it's like,
Yeah,
that's going to be
I'm
tough.
gonna say this. They're both of their narratives are two completely different narratives. Um, and I don't want to say which one is true or which one isn't, but I will say that Zaya's allegations to me have more inconsistencies to it. When
Mm,
I run back her narrative of the story, I often have to stop and say, well, why didn't you do this? Or this sounds funny, or this doesn't sound right. Usually from me handling sexual assault cases, even criminally, I even do this with my own clients. When you hear a narrative and it does not sound all the way right, you have to question it. I always do it to my clients first because the other side will beat me to it and hit us with a surprise.
right.
But when it doesn't make sense, when it feels like it's some missing pieces to the puzzle, it's because most times it usually is, and they're not
Mm.
saying everything. And that's the kind of vibes that I'm getting from her narrative. Not to say that what she's saying isn't true, or because I don't know, but just from going over her narrative,
It
I
doesn't
don't know.
fit.
I'm having a hard. It doesn't fit, man. It's
Yeah.
too many. Yeah, but we'll get to that when we get more into the allegations.
So with that being said, it is just so, it still amazes me that with all the video evidence that is in the custody of the police, with the statements, what I'm just gonna assume that they got statements from all four parties involved in this, right? When they were investigating the criminal side, with all of that evidence out there, still she has the ability. Well, I don't want to say ability, but she has the confidence to go to Mr. Blackburn and file this complaint. I mean, is with all that evidence being available, am I just crazy thinking that it's strange she would go that far on a limb to file this complaint or not?
You're not crazy. I was thinking, I always pay attention to dates of when the date of incident occurred and when the lawsuit is filed or when
Right.
charges are brought. So I always pay attention to dates like that.
Mm,
But no, it's not out of the ordinary to think what you're thinking. It's normal to wonder, why did she wait a long time? My initial theory was because after DJ Academics' house was raided, he started becoming public and making tweets about the incident and saying,
right.
hey, you really had sex with my friends, and that hurt me and surprised me, which she probably thought that was a lie. Sorry, man, email flashed across my screen. What was I just saying? I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you're good. No worries. Yeah, you're basically saying that when she filed this, the reason that she was filing it and the date that she filed it is because of what Academics was saying and doing. Yeah.
I remember now. That was my theory of why she filed. Now,
Right.
I watched some of Akademiks' live stream yesterday. Now, I did not know that Akademiks had some type of relationship with this Blackburn attorney, this Tyrone Blackburn guy.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
were dealing with each other in the past on, it was some case. Was it Diddy's, or I want to say it might have been Diddy's case. Trying to represent one of a potential plaintiff filing a civil suit against Diddy or something like that. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
he was alluding to, this guy basically is just a check chaser, just chasing clout, trying to get a quick check,
Mm-hmm.
trying to do a shake, trying to shake them down, trying to get them. The Academics alluded to, they reached out for a settlement before they actually filed the lawsuit.
Yep.
So I can understand how he thinks that this is a shakedown attempt, but he has some history with this attorney, and that made me realize that this lawsuit could be filed maybe on his own. Maybe he has some type of motive. I know one motive is to get paid.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely gonna be a nice payday, regardless.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about this too. This was I'm glad. Shout out to Hot Topics Radio in the chat. They said she's got a case against Ak anyways. Even if she freaked out in the video, Ak had sex with her. Now did she consent to that? That's the case in a nutshell. So I want to talk to you about consent because you've seen it on the criminal side.
Yes.
I alluded to it yesterday about consent being somewhat of a gray area when it comes to being on the defendant side.
Yes.
With consent being given and consent being removed, can you just speak to that generally in cases like this?
Yes. So consent. Most sexual assault charges have a consent factor in it. Okay, and we all know what consent is. It's agreeing to something. Okay. The problem and the repeated cycle that I see in a lot of these cases involving sexual assaults is that it gives women power when they're consuming alcohol or any other type of drugs. It gives them power to say, I really don't remember what happened last night. I was wasted, and they could go with this whole I was unconscious thing, and I don't remember, and the person should have reasonably known that I wasn't in my right mind to have sex. It's alcohol always fuzzies up the consent thing. Now I'll say this: I've had success in past sexual assault cases, uh, aggravated sexual assault cases. The R word. I won't say the R word.
Wow.
But, when you're saying that someone sexually assaulted you, and I hate to be this blank with you, but you're in a video like giving somebody head or something like that, like you can't say like somebody forcibly raped you when or excuse me for that, sexually assaulted you when you're active in the act and you can clearly see what's going on. I do the same thing with when we had those allegations and women had their legs in the air and nobody's holding them. You know what I mean? It's things like that that's that can make a jury not believe that that you were sexually assaulted. You'd be amazed.
Right.
Yeah, you'd be amazed.
Now, when it comes to, I guess, someone saying, as you mentioned, the alcohol factor. Say we remove the alcohol factor for a second. Say it's a situation to where you're just hanging out with someone, you guys had a good time, you went back to their house, things happen, and then they go home. Afterwards, whatever happened. We'll just say it was a perfect situation, right? And then, unbeknownst to you, the girl involved, she goes and gets a kit done and says, I felt this way, and this way about it. Then you have allegations or you have a criminal case against you. When it comes to the consent factor in a case like that, is there, how does that normally go as an attorney when you're trying to say and show, no, there was consent there. and it wasn't forced or it wasn't assault in any way, what would that look like?
So because the two people are in the privacy, I'm assuming of a bedroom,
Right.
we really are never you a lot of times in these cases you're not going to get the entire 100% full picture.
Right.
Because just the fact of the matter is we weren't there and we had to listen to both sides, these two people say what happened or what did not happen. So that's one thing. That's one thing about, but so it's tough to prove the consent. You have one person saying I didn't consent to this, and you have one person saying, yeah, I remember she was going along with everything, and everything was a great time. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Uh, this is the scary thing for guys. I always feel for my male clients when they're in
Yeah.
situations like this.
Talk about it.
It can happen to you. Yeah, no, and the thing is, it can happen. It's very scary, and to my guys, it's why you want to be careful with these after the party, after the club hookups, because you don't know what you're dealing with, especially when y'all been drinking and things like that. This type of things can happen, and the police will take her statement, will charge you, and you'll just have to defend this stuff out in court.
Oh,
And you got a whole. It's bad, man. It's scary, but it's
yeah.
something that could absolutely happen.
Wow. All right. I appreciate you addressing that. And I thank you for that because, I say it and I mention it to guys. It doesn't have the same weight. I went on this whole rant yesterday about y'all have to be careful. I'm telling you,
You do.
it's so easy for someone to just walk down to a police station and say this happened. And then, you're spending however much time, however many resources to fight something like that. So yeah, I appreciate you addressing that. It's definitely an important point. Now I know we're getting close on time.
Yeah. I can stay a little bit more. I can stay a little longer. I don't have to go back right at 12. But my phone, I left my charger in the courtroom.
Oh,
I
no.
can't believe I did that. And my phone is sitting here on 7%. So, hey, man, we can do this till the phone dies. I don't, you know what I mean?
Okay, perfect.
That's fine with me.
All right. Well, you just let me know if anything changes. You can just interrupt me at all. Actually, this is a great point. One more thing I'll ask you about consent, and then we'll move forward. Wave Lori in the chat. He says, keep the receipts. So what kind of things can guys do to protect themselves in a situation like that? Say they're at a party, they want to go home with somebody. You're at the party. What's something you can do to protect yourself in that?
Well, obviously you don't want to record the act, but
all right, so he's saying nothing. He said, guys, don't do it, man. He said, don't do it.
I really had to think about the best thing, man, that I can tell you is, man, just be sure about who you're dealing with and who you bring into your home and who you decide to actually have these type of relations with, because I think that's the biggest barrier to making that mistake is this: you just getting some random girl who you don't even, who you don't even know, and don't know what her intentions are really. It's but I would say this: if you're not just meeting a girl at a party and planning on taking her home, I at least try to have some text message exchange, to show that no, she was on board with this. We actually, plan to have this encounter this night, and something like that. Text message to me works the best because it's hard to get video of any of this stuff, but or unless you're recording calls. But man, if you got a text message thread to show that she was willing to come over, maybe she might have said what she was willing to do sexually in the messages, stuff like that can really help you out and get you in the clear as far as consent.
Yeah, and I know this doesn't get talked about enough either, but I like to call it aftercare. If you're in that situation and then everything happens, you're going home, sending a text message saying, hey, I had a good time. Did you have a good time? Yeah, I had a good time. Really enjoyed it. Something, just, don't be kicking bitches out of your house. Type deal.
I like that aftercare. Yeah, man. You gotta check up. You gotta check in on her, man.
Yeah, check in, see how they're doing.
The worst night in the world for her.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because then, I mean, that just helps you avoid certain type of situations. But anyway, we're going to keep it moving. I appreciate you addressing that because, again, guys, this is so important. I know a lot of y'all like to have fun and I'm all for it, but you got to make sure you protect yourselves because as you guys heard, sometimes the odds are not going to be in your favor. You don't want to take that chance. Let me see. Let me go back into this one. So we're at this part to where she's talking about, let me see. Okay, this is leading up to her going over. All right, so let me go back through this real quick. Now, this is DJ Akademiks admitted to telling John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 that, now granted, this is a girl who I've been dealing with for a couple months. I messed with for years. When she came over that time, she had told me she was like a dancer or some shit like that. I remember, and I don't know if maybe my ninjas took it the wrong way because DJ, come on, Akademiks. Because I remember she had told me, she was like, yo, why would he say this? I don't know if they maybe took it the wrong way. Come on, man.
Yeah, I agree. I would not have said that.
Dumb, stupid. Because I remember she had told me, she was like, yo, the girl you used to know, like I'm on some bad girl vibes now type shit. Basically, she was like doing her thing. I remember I told them John Doe 1 and John Doe 2. I'm like, yo, this is before when I was going to the party. I was like, yo, Ak really talks like this too. I'm about to get this girl, the plaintiff, coming over later for me. Now, is this important? Where he says, I was like, yo, I'm about to get this girl coming over later for me. Do you think as his defense, it'll be important that he said that she was coming over for him? Or is it not going to matter?
Yes. No. I would, excuse me. I would definitely use that as his defense. It'll go into, like I was saying about her statement. I mean, her narrative of this whole thing. He's telling I would use that in my defense because it'll see if I'm telling my friends that she is coming over for me, then that'll assume that we didn't set this up for this to happen to you. You know, I told my friends that, you were coming over to see me. I just let them know that you were, on the way over. Yeah, but what didn't make sense to me was that, she came over, Akademiks nowhere to be found. She says at first she's taken aback that these two guys answered the door, but then she comes in, then she has drinks, but then says everything was cool, they're talking.
Yeah.
Then they force her to take shots. And then she voluntarily ends up in the hot tub with them. These are two guys who she just met. I mean, she had not known these two guys. She just literally opened the door and just saw these two guys.
Come on, ladies.
And it's things like that, man, that I'm like, it's like you remember all these points up until the actual encounter, and then all of a sudden, when you get to the encounter, you start feeling woozy, you don't remember, and all this stuff. And it's allegations like that raise my eyebrow. That's what I say.
Yep, and it goes again to the consent. It's like it can happen. Removal of consent can happen at any point, even afterwards. So y'all gotta be careful. It says, I remember I told them John Doe 1 and John Doe 2. I'm like, yo, this is before I was going to the party. I was like, yo, I'm about to get this girl coming over later for me. She told me she's on some different type of vibes. I don't know if that's what they, John Doe 1 and John Doe 2, took. And I can't really speak to other ninjas thing. I only speak to myself. All right, bet, cool. So that seems like a pretty solid statement when it comes to the defense. So I think he kind of recovered a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it also says when Naya arrived at DJ Akademiks' home, everything seemed normal apart from the neighborhood power outage. Now, this is that's a weird thing too. I guess.
Right.
We won't spend too much time on that. So now they name John Doe 1 and John Doe 2. John Doe 1, Khalif, a friend of Mr. Allen, DJ Akademiks, greeted her, Naya. Naya was taken aback because DJ Akademiks did not tell her anyone else would be at his home upon her arrival. She did not suspect anything suspicious, so she entered the home. All right. John Doe, we're going to call him Khalif. Khalif invited Naya into the kitchen and introduced her to Slime. Come on, man. Another of DJ Akademiks' friends. Due to the power outage, the three of them sat in the kitchen together. Naya engaged in small talk with them while patiently waiting for DJ Akademiks to appear. Naya recalls, dang, I forgot his name already. Khalif,
yeah.
She recalls Khalif being relatively talkative while Slime was oddly quiet. Okay. Naya was initially offered a drink, but she refused and opted to make her own drink, as she was accustomed to when she visited DJ Akademiks' home. Khalif insisted that they prepare Naya's drink. Ooh, this is not good. Now, I guess the benefit is that there is allegedly video evidence of this. This is this whole thing with the power outage is interesting because, one, it seems kind of random that there would be some type of power outage and Akademiks didn't mention it, but I guess he was knocked out, right? And we haven't heard from Slime or Khalif. So we don't know if this actually happened, but it seems interesting that there is a power outage. Could this maybe...
It doesn't seem like it affected his home. Reason being is because, you know, they were in the home, went out the home on this on the hot tub deck.
Exactly.
And if you recall, and his cameras were running, you know, so they got the surveillance footage. So I don't think he suffered any power outage.
Yeah, it just seems weird that they would mention that. And Akademiks didn't say anything about that. Obviously, he was passed out, but yeah, that's something. Yeah.
ClassE,
yes, sir.
Let me tell you, my phone is on 2%. Dude, I want to stay on with you. Can I just hop off for a second? I'll go grab my charger and I'll be back on in like 10 minutes if y'all still be on.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Go do your thing. What I'll do is I'll keep reading through this and I'll highlight anything that maybe we need to come back to. And if we have any questions, and I'll chop it up with the chat. I appreciate you staying, man. Y'all give it up for Javier Bailey up in here, man. All right. Yeah, go do your thing.
All right, yeah, no problem.
We'll be here.
I'll be back, man. I'll be back on.
All right. Appreciate you. Okay. So we're going to keep reading through this. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat too. Let me see what y'all are saying. And then we'll actually have a little bit of an intermission. Amy Lee is in here. She says, just get some Jesus and find your person and go from there. Amen. 5 minute pleasure push ain't worth all that allegation game that could happen. And we've heard so many stories of guys' careers, their lives being ruined. And Amy, I know you were in on the criminal justice side. You've seen and heard a lot too. Amy says, shout out to Jesus. We got Leela up in here. Shout out to Leela. She liked the aftercare statement. Yeah, y'all got to do some aftercare, man. She said, did you have a great time? Always. I love having a good time. Jen says, use a condom and don't choke her even if she likes it. Leave no evidence. She's laughing. And I hate to say this, but if y'all are going to do that wild stuff, you better get it on video. You better get consent. And yeah, you gotta make it happen. Greg Dose is in here saying, what up, my neighbor? Good to see you, man. Hot Topics radio show. I got to check y'all out too. Shout out to Hot Topics radio show for stopping by. Said, if she was drugged, she would remember. She wouldn't remember. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like leading up to somebody who's been drugged. If you start to remember feeling a certain type of way, what you're able to do while you're under the influence of a certain drug, that's just all really strange. And also, this goes back to the criminal investigation. I gotta make some notes if we're gonna do this while Javier is gone. If they were to do a criminal investigation, I don't know if they call it. Let me see. Let me double check and see. if they were to do the criminal report or the criminal investigation, wouldn't there be some type of toxicology done if she said that she was drugged? Especially if she did it the morning after, it seems like there would be some indication that she was either drugged or heavily under the influence of some type of drugs. I don't know. So I got to mark that question down to ask Javier when he gets back. All right, what else are y'all saying? Greg Dose said, did you ever get the unboxing video for the mic? Yeah, I did, Greg. Shout out to Greg Dose. I'm going to be posting it next week. So I got you in there. Marco the Prophet said, when you're rich, you got to be careful. Everybody coming for them pockets. And Marco, here's the thing. You don't even have to be rich. Honestly, boy, this is going to sound terrible. It's better if it happens to you if you're rich. If you're already rich. Because if it happens to you when you're broke, nobody's going to help you, man. You've got to fight the legal cases on your own. You've got to most likely go into debt to retain a lawyer. Then you have to pay for the fees. Then, especially with the civil case, I don't know. And I would have to ask, well, we kind of talked about it with Javier, is these civil cases are mainly done against corporations because people want to get paid. But when it comes to the criminal side, man, it's better if it happens to you when you're rich, because you have time and you have the time and the resources to pay somebody to further investigate and defend you. If you're broke, man, I mean, what are you gonna do? That $2,000, $1,500 retainer, you're gonna feel that. You're gonna feel that for sure. All right, do y'all want to go through this a little bit more? Actually, let's take a brief intermission, and then we'll get Mr. Bailey back up here. So y'all give me 1 second. I'll just be gone for like 30 seconds. And then we'll get back into this complaint. All right.
I wish I had you the same way that he had you. I wish these handprints could just stay wherever I grab you. You said your body count is 3 and that's just not true. But fuck, I love it when you lie, so girl, I got you. I guess I hear you, pretend I hear your sigh. And when you finish talking about your man, I ask to slide.
All right, we back.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm crazy, you're my ride or die. This feels like perfect time. I mean, besides the fact
All right, we're back, y'all. Let's go ahead and get back into this complaint here. All right, so y'all, can y'all see that? Actually, let me, this is a little off center. Let me see if there's a way I can fix that. Yeah, it's gonna cut off some of the wording. We'll keep reading. All right, and if y'all have any questions or thoughts in the chat, definitely let me know. And we're gonna do calls later as well. So if y'all want to call in, you'll have the opportunity to call in and ask questions to me if you want to, but most importantly for our expert today, attorney Javier M. Bailey II. And he's gonna be back with us once he gets his phone charged up. All right, so where were we? Naya was initially offered a drink, but she refused and opted to make her own drink, as she was accustomed to when she visited DJ Akademiks' home. Khalif insisted that they prepare Naya's drink. Unbeknownst to Naya, Khalif was DJ Akademiks' manager or employee, and he asserted his position by telling Naya that he was in charge until DJ Akademiks arrived. As odd as the encounter was, Naya obligated and allowed Khalif and Slime to fix her a drink. Interesting. As the trio conversed, Naya asked for for DJ Akademiks and was told to hold on. Khalif then left the kitchen to find DJ Akademiks, and when he came back, he said DJ Akademiks would join them shortly. So again, this is also interesting because DJ Akademiks said he went upstairs and he basically passed out right after the party. So it seems like they might have lied and they knew he was passed out, so they were trying to get her comfortable and all to themselves. That's interesting. We'll see what happens moving forward. Nia believed this was true and did not go to find DJ Akademiks herself because the home was completely dark. Admittedly, Nia recalls having an eerie feeling, but oh man, here's some more icing over here. And Javier said it. This is reading like a mystery novel. Nia recalls having an eerie feeling, but she ignored it because she did not believe that DJ Akademiks, who she had known for nearly 2 years, would harm her or allow her to be harmed. Dun, dun, dun. She dismissed the feelings as nerves and waited for DJ Akademiks to arrive. Shortly after the power had returned, okay, I guess there should be video evidence of that. It's just weird that they mention it. It's strange. Anyway, Khalif asked Nia if she wanted to use the hot tub or pool and wait for DJ Akademiks. Now, the person who was previously had an eerie feeling, now Nia said she'd be okay with the hot tub.
Stop the cap.
What?
Well, if I have an eerie, again, I'm not gonna put myself in this situation. Let me say it this way. If you have an eerie feeling, I'm just sitting in the chair. I'm holding, like, wouldn't you just be holding your drink like this, sitting there waiting for DJ Akademiks to arrive? But you're going to go chill in the hot tub? Boy, this is wild, man. Nia said she'd be okay with the hot tub. Again, Nia did not suspect anything, as she was accustomed to using the hot tub and pool when she previously visited DJ Akademiks' home. She was also under the impression that Khalif and Slime would leave her after putting the hot tub on. Oh my God. As their actions and gestures made it appear that they were heading out. Interesting. Nia enters the hot tub alone. Oh, man. Shortly after, Khalif appeared from inside the house and proceeded to join her in the hot tub. Shortly after that, Slime appeared with a bottle of alcohol and began forcing her to take shots of the alcohol. Again, there's a lot of audio and video footage from this pool area, so this can be verified. I guess we would have to kind of really look at what forcing means, because it's forcing. All right, here's a shot. You want one? No, I'm good. Ah, come on, just have a shot. No, I'm fine. No, just take one. Here, it's just a little shot. Okay, I'll take it. Is that forcing somebody? I don't know. King Leland said, roll the clip. Hey, yo, I wish I could. If the video leaks out of that, we're gonna have to have a members only live stream for that part, because that's gonna be wild. Anyway, according to Nia, she vaguely remembers Slime nervously pacing around the pool area. Eventually, that's not a good look. Eventually, Nia recalls beginning to feel strange. It was simply a feeling of intoxication as Nia had only, I'm sorry. It was not simply a feeling of intoxication. So now she's an intoxication expert. What? As Nia had only half of the drink and a few sips of the new drink that Khalif had provided her as he entered the hot tub. Okay. Nia began feeling extremely hot, as if her body was on fire. She felt extremely lightheaded and dizzy. Upon noticing this, Slime asked her if she was lit and then returned to the kitchen. He then entered with more alcohol, which they insisted she drank. So you're feeling lightheaded and dizzy and hot. Yeah, sounds like you're getting lit. I don't see the issue. They even went so far as to pour the alcohol into Naya's mouth forcibly. Again, we should have the video of this, right? According to Naya, she recalls Khalif becoming very handsy as he aggressively made advances toward her, which she rejected. Upon information and belief, Slime was on the sidelines watching while all of this was happening. According to Naya, Khalif would not take no for an answer and began grabbing her. I don't know if I can say groping. We'll say groping her. He eventually picked her up and tossed her into the pool adjacent to the hot tub. According to Naya, she was distorted, had trouble breathing, and struggled to get out of the pool for fear of drowning. Oh, God. As she attempted to crawl out of the pool while disoriented. While still disoriented and struggling to breathe, Khalif attacked her. He forcibly removed her. Oh my gosh. This is going to be tough for YouTube, man. Jesus. He forcibly removed some of her clothes. Open, y'all can read. All right. Good gosh. Naya did not consent. In fact, due to the alcohol and whatever substance was placed in the alcohol, allegedly, she was not in the right mindset to consent to any of the acts that were being performed on her by Khalif. Now, this is bad. I got to mark this down. We got to ask Javier about this when we get back. Number 39. This is not good. And this is why I asked him what I asked him about the consent part of it. Because this is a big deal, y'all, when it comes to the assault. Obviously, it doesn't really have anything to do with academics, but it says she did not consent. I don't know. Can you prove consent unless you looked up at the cameras and screamed, "I consent"? Even then, is that consent because she was under the influence? Because it says, in fact, due to the alcohol and whatever substance was placed in the alcohol, she was not in the right mindset to consent to any of the acts that were being performed by her. Any of the acts that were being performed on her by Khalif. This is tough. What are y'all saying? What are y'all saying in the chat? Wave Lori said the suspense is killing me. Imperial Stats is in here, says she's capped. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if the video comes out, because according to Akademiks, this is all on video. Leela said, it's not adding up. If someone is trying to force you to drink something, even if they're squeezing you by the cheeks and trying to pour it into your mouth, you can get out of that. I mean, I'm not saying it was okay for them if they did force it, but she had several drinks and she had more drinks. This is just, again, to all of y'all, guys, ladies, just stay out of these type of situations, because it won't end well for either side. In some cases it can, but man, this is just, and it's crazy that this is, neither of them knew each other. I think that's the biggest thing to me. Yeah, we'll ask Javier about this one. Number 40. Naya has memories of fighting off her attackers, but feeling extremely weak. What? As Khalif assaulted her, Naya would later learn that Slime watched from the side and undressed in the bushes nearby. Naya would later learn that as she laid lifeless on the concrete, Khalif was standing in the pool while shifting her lifeless body back and forth on the concrete. God, that sounds painful. And Slime was undressing in the bushes and would soon ambush Naya. The two men then proceeded to assault Naya simultaneously. God, man, this is rough. Jen says, if you get rich, just become abstinent. Or you can hire somebody. I'm just saying. Let's write that check, man. Leela says, were her hands tied or bound by something? Nope. No. And y'all can see in the y'all can see in the screenshot, we're going to get to that she was not lifeless. And you can see it. I mean, a lifeless body doesn't have their fists clenched and their legs up in the air. Imperial Stat says that lawyer detailed that up like some Kendrick lyrics. Oh my God.
Hey, yo.
Oh man, that's crazy. Imperial Stat said, yeah, he should have wrote for Drake. Battle would have been over, been better. You just had to get it in there, didn't you, Imperial Stats? Leela said, they got them blow up dolls too. Yep, absolutely. Hollywood Co says, if all this stuff happened, why were there no arrests made when he turned the footage over? Because they didn't have any, as far as we know, they didn't have anything to charge him or the two guys involved. So we could assume, or allegedly, I should say, from the investigation, these guys didn't do anything wrong. That's what it looks like. Wave Lori says, sounds like a Lifetime movie. Yeah. Jen says, the sad thing is something like this can happen in a marriage too. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Leela says it wasn't convincing enough. Imperial Stat said, read her text messages to Act. You can tell she's capped. Oh, man. Well, and we'll read later on that she actually, the police tried to get her to set up DJ Akademiks. Yeah. To be continued, I guess I should say. But yeah, they got her on the phone. We'll get into it here in a second. They got her on the phone. They said, hey, call DJ Akademiks, and here's a list of questions that we want you to ask him. But when you ask him these questions, don't make it seem like we told you or that we're even here. Just make it seem natural. We'll go through that in a second. But this is, gosh, this description is terrible. So sad, man. Upon information and belief, this was witnessed by the police when the surveillance footage was recovered. So if this was witnessed by the police, then why didn't they arrest them? As Hollywood Co just said. Because you can't say that the two men proceeded to assault her and then the assault was witnessed by the police, because that would mean the police messed up and not criminally charging them. Hollywood Co, he's on it. He says, like the video. If y'all forgot, man, likes are free. Get those likes up, please. We got 63,000 people in here. And Javier LaFleur said he's going to be back shortly here, y'all. So just hold on. We are bringing back our expert here shortly. Let me make sure we're good. Yeah. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, check this out. So it's covered from the police. As Khalif finished assaulting Naya, he allowed Slime to assault her as well. Good God. According to Naya, lying on the concrete was the last memory she had of that part of the attack. She recalls going in and out of consciousness and does not recall ever entering the home. So this is where an issue arises, because DJ Akademiks, from what we can see, the evidence is more so showing that he was telling the truth in the majority of this, right? And obviously the burden of proof is on Naya and her attorneys to show that what happened wasn't the case. But DJ Akademiks said when he talked to her the next morning, she told him, oh yeah, I had fun. I had a good time. We went down to the pool and to the hot tub. I was dancing for them in my bathing suit, whatever. And we had a good time. But now this is saying that, let me see. Let me go back. This is saying that she didn't consent, which means she would have been aware of what was going on. And then according to her, she was disoriented, struggled to get out of the pool for fear of drowning. If you had a fear of drowning, I mean, she just forgot that? As she attempted to crawl out of the pool while disoriented and struggling to breathe, he attacked her. Now, if we go back and look at this, upon information and belief, this was witnessed by the police when the surveillance footage was recovered. So when they say this, what are they referring to? Are they referring to all of this stuff? Are they referring to statement number 42 where they were going in? I don't know. We'll have to ask Javier about that one. Let's see. According to Naya, lying on the concrete was the last memory she had of that part of the attack. According to Akademiks, that's not what she said to him. She recalls going in and out of consciousness and does not recall ever entering the home. Why would she say she had a good time? I don't know. I guess, again, it's just he said, she said. We'll wait until the video comes out. This is crazy. Imperial Stats said he needs to countersue. Here's the problem with that. She ain't got no money. Why do you think she's hanging around Akademiks? And in my opinion, the reason she got upset when he found out about it and she saw that he was upset, according to Akademiks, is because she knew this was probably going to be the end to her run. Wild, man. Whatever substance Khalif and slime slipped into Naya's drink negatively impacted her memory and caused her to lose consciousness. Oh my God. There's got to be a blood test that they could have done or should have done to prove if that was the case. According to Naya, she recalls being awakened naked in bed, which Akademiks did back this up. Naked in bed in what she believed was DJ Akademiks' bedroom. Now, this is an inconsistency in both of their stories because DJ Akademiks said that his guys were leaving at 4 a.m. They go to Akademiks and they say, hey, man, hey, we're leaving. Oh, by the way, that Naya chick, she's in another bedroom over there in the guest bedroom or something. So this is an inconsistency between two stories that we'll have to see who's telling the truth here. According, she recalls being awakened in bed in DJ Akademiks' bedroom. She believes that around 4 a.m., which is consistent with DJ Akademiks' story, she was awoken by DJ Akademiks savagely pulling her hair, prying open her legs, and assaulting her. What? Man, this is terrible. All right. Javier LaFleur, he's in the building. He said he's coming back. He's coming back. Appreciate you, man. So we're going to get Mr. Bailey back in here shortly, y'all. So stay tuned. We've got our expert witness today. Mr. Javier Bailey is going to be back in the building. All right. According to Naya, DJ Akademiks was relentless. He tried to, okay, y'all can read. We're not going to read that. This is wild. As a result, DJ Akademiks proceeded to assault her. Upon information and belief, DJ Akademiks was not using protection when he assaulted her, as evidenced by purported discovery of his spermicide in the SANE kit, or the assault kit, which was performed on Naya a few hours after she was assaulted. So it was his DNA found, or his sperm? What does this mean? His spermicide? I don't know. We're gonna have to ask. We're gonna have to ask Javier about this one. Let me see if I can get him back in here. We should be good. Javier, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it sounds like you have the YouTube on, and there might be a little bit of an echo and delay. Could you mute the YouTube?
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I cut the YouTube down.
Okay, perfect.
Get my camera right.
Yep, so I'm gonna add you back in here.
There we go.
All right, we should be good. Yeah, can you move your camera back down just a little bit? That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I had to.
Uh-oh. Oh, he went out again. Let's see. Shout out to Emilio Amor says he says he didn't pull out.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know that for sure. We're gonna wait for Javier to get his stuff back up. He'll be up here in a second. He was relentless. He tried to continue doing that. Okay, as evidenced by the purported discovery of his spermicide, which was performed on Naya a few hours after she was assaulted. All right. Naya recalls begging DJ Akademiks to stop. She recalls her voice was faint. Okay, so this is completely contradicting everything that DJ Akademiks said. He said he went and woke her up, left the room, and then when she came out the room, he said, hey, they had a conversation. He's like, hey, you remember what happened last night? She's like, yeah, I had a good time. This and this. What did you do? Because he had already went and looked at the security footage. What did y'all do? What were y'all up to? Oh, nothing. You know, I was just over here. We were having a good time, had a few drinks, and we went into the hot tub. And they had this whole conversation. Now she's saying he came to the room and then assaulted her. If there's camera and there's video footage, this has to be completely false. Somebody's lying here. I don't know who it is, but her story is not making any sense, especially considering that no criminal charges were filed. This is wild. Let's see. Naya recalls begging to DJ Akademiks to stop. She recalls her voice was faint as she continued to drift in and out of consciousness. Naya remembers crying for most of this assault by losing her ability to move physically. Naya eventually gave up fighting in hopes that Akademiks would finish quickly. Oh my God.
Hey, yo.
Naya recalls Mr. Allen saying, open your mouth. As he pulled her hair, he said, open your mouth. I want to in your mouth. This was her last memory of the attack. According to Naya, she woke up confused the following morning and searched for her. This is again contradicting DJ Akademiks' story. So if if the video comes out and we see that she wasn't looking for him and he came to the room, it's going to back up a lot of his story. But yeah, this is crazy. Javier LaFleur said, try it again. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's just waiting on you to connect. Let me see. I'm gonna disconnect you and see if I can you can reconnect, Javier. So let's do this. We're gonna do this. So let's try it this way. Okay. Now you should be able to reconnect. We'll try it. But this is completely contradicting DJ Akademiks' story. So this is at a point to where we want to see the video footage. We want to know what actually happened. According to Naya, she woke up confused the following morning and searched for him. According to Naya, she looked around the house and found him in the basement on his computer. According to Naya, she sat on the floor next to him and he asked her if she knew that his friends ran a train on her. Oh my God.
Hey, yo.
To which she said no. He kept asking, are you sure? He told her everything was all right and that he was good if she was cool. According to Naya, she was baffled and in disbelief. According to Naya, DJ Akademiks asked her to follow him into another room where he showed her the contents of a small trash can and that had what appeared to be vomit in it and 2 gold Magnum condoms wrapped up, and asked, you don't remember this? She doesn't mention them. She doesn't mention them using condoms. I mean, did this dude, he just put his condom on in the pool? This doesn't make any sense, man. All right, we're back. We got Javier Bailey back in here. Wow. All right. So again, there's a delay, Javier. So if you could turn down the YouTube, so there's not so much a delay. Let's see.
There we go.
Truth Over Lies says, "Is this guy capping for academics? We're just reviewing the facts, man. We're reviewing the facts right now. Victim blaming? Nah. And then Truth Over Lies says, everything the victim says, he say it's cap, like he wants Capademics to mention him. Oh, yeah, that would be nice. If he does, cool. Shout out to DJ Academics. I wouldn't be mad about it. Mention me, DJ Academics. But no, in all seriousness, I'm just giving my opinion, my thoughts. And one thing you can't deny, Truth Over Lies, is that no criminal charges were filed. So you ask yourself why. I already know what I think the reason is. So you ask yourself, why were no criminal charges filed after DJ Academics turned over all the text messages, all the video, after a assault kit was done? You ask yourself that, and then, we can have a conversation. All right, so let me get my guy Javier Bailey back in here. I think we got him all ready to go now. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all good now, man. I appreciate you dropping back by. Now, again, you let me know when you've gotta end the live stream. We're gonna try and get through most of this. I know everybody wants to get to page 12, and we're almost there. But give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. State can pass on it, and feds can easily pick it up. Critical thinking is key. Look at this guy. Yeah, you didn't answer the question. Truth Over Lies. The question was, why were no criminal charges filed if they had all this evidence? That's the question I want you to answer. I don't want you to say, oh, well, they can still. No. Think about that. Think about it. All right. I get that you hate academics and, you believe the victim, the alleged victim in this complaint. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the evidence that I'm seeing, the things that have happened, it's not pointing to that. So you asked yourself that question. All right. So Javier, while you were gone, we went through, let's see, most of the rest of this factual background, but I wanted to ask you a question specifically about this part. So let's go to, let's see, where is it? Okay, here we go. So 38. According to Naya, she was disoriented, had trouble breathing, and struggled to get out of the pool for fear of drowning. As she attempted to crawl out of the pool while still disoriented and struggling to breathe, Khalif attacked her. He forcibly removed her clothes, opened her legs, and began the assault. So Naya did not consent. In fact, due to the alcohol and whatever substance was placed in the alcohol, she was not in the right mindset to consent to any of the acts that were being performed on her by Khalif. Now, my question is, if that was the case, if this was her claim, wouldn't there have, when they did the criminal investigation, wouldn't they have done some type of toxicology or blood work or something to see if she had some type of non-alcoholic substance in her blood, or if she was drugged in some way?
Well, usually when these type of things are immediately reported, then they would do something like that. But because she waited to report this to police, a toxicology of her blood sample wouldn't be any good after that period of time had passed. But if she would have reported this like the next morning, or even the morning, even the following days after that, evidence of her physical state of being could still be there and still be brought to light. But with her waiting, when she go to police, like December 2023 or something?
Well, no, that's what we actually just read.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
that's right.
She actually went.
She got in contact with the police when she got her same kit done.
Yep, exactly.
You're right about that.
Yeah. So in 48. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say in 48 it says so the next morning it says, according to Naya, Mr. Allen or DJ Akademiks was relentless, blah, blah, blah. DJ Akademiks assaulted her upon information and belief. DJ Akademiks was not using protection while he assaulted Naya, as evidenced by the, oh, y'all don't have to put him in timeout. He could stay. Like, everybody doesn't have to agree. It's fine. But if they're saying something crazy, yeah, y'all can, but you don't have to. Yeah, y'all don't have to time them out. Let me see what they're saying. Hold on a second. I just answered it. You did not answer the question. Let's see. State can pass. All right. Okay, y'all must have just put them in timeout. All right, that's fine. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Here we go. It says, upon information and belief, DJ Akademiks was not using protection when he assaulted Naya, as evidenced by the purported discovery of his spermicide in the kit, which I want to go over the spermicide thing here in a second, the kit was performed by her a few hours after she was assaulted. So she went to police a few hours after she was assaulted. Would they normally in that case, if she said, oh, I was drugged and this is what happened, or could she not have mentioned that she was drugged? Is it standard procedure for them to cover all their bases when it's a situation like this?
It depends on what she reported, and I'll tell you why. It depends on what they're reporting, because she may have just said, hey, I was. They may not mention that they were drink.
Javier, I think you're breaking up, man.
Advised by, yeah,
you're breaking up. Your audio for some reason is it's going in and out, and it sounds like it's glitching a little bit.
I don't know what that is.
Do you have the YouTube open on your phone?
No, I don't have it open on my phone.
Yeah, because for some reason the audio is making a weird sound. Let me see. Let me see if I can fix this. Audio settings. Let me see. All right, I think he's gonna. Okay, there we go. He's gonna try and rejoin, but I'll be interested to see what he says about that. Hollywood Coast says turn that Wi-Fi on or off. Okay. Dragon Gaze is in here. He says all the time how rich he is. You can buy a lot in a small town. Just saying. I mean, you're talking about the police that broke down his $25,000 doors and held a gun in his mom's face when they raided his house. Okay, if that's the theory you want to make, but I don't see any evidence to that. Dragon Gaze also says, would all the cameras have been looked at or just what he wanted them to see? Oh, here we go. Come on, man. He said, this is what's hella confusing to me. DJ Akademiks stated that they took his entire DVR. So whatever footage they needed, they had access to. And that's what we're hearing from him. All I know is that no criminal charges were filed. So, yeah, truth over lie. Yes, I've already admitted. He said, you won't be able to convince this guy he wants Capidemics to mention him. Yes, DJ Akademiks, mention me, please. Please, DJ Akademiks. Yeah. If he mentions me, that would be absolutely amazing for my channel and what I'm trying to do. So sure. I'll take it. All right, let me see. I think we've got Javier back up here. We should be good now. Can you test your mic for me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we're
better?
good. We're way better now.
Okay, good.
All right, let me get.
Good.
Oh, no, it's still making that weird sound for some reason. Do you have?
I don't have anything.
Weird.
How's it sounding now? Is it still sounding weird?
You sound good, but every time you talk, it's making this strange noise. Let me see. Maybe it's because echo cancellation's on. Let me try it. All right, try it now.
Yeah. Sound good?
Try it again. A couple more times.
No. Okay.
Just say check, check,
Hello,
check,
hello,
test.
hello, hello.
Yeah, there we go. It was
Check, 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 testing.
I think it was
Who's
the noise cancellation, so we fixed it. All right, let
Okay,
me
cool.
let me get you all set up. Yeah, you sound all nice and crispy and clean. Now, let's see.
Cool.
All right, I got you back up there. Shout out to man, appreciate you bearing with us as we get this figured out.
Yeah. No problem, man.
All right, so what I was asking you about was, okay, since she went to the police directly after this whole thing went down and got the kit done, would it be normal for them to, if she said she was drinking, even if she didn't think she was drugged at the time, would it be normal for them to do some type of testing to try and figure out if she was drugged or something going on there?
Yes, if it's normal for them to take a toxicology,
Yeah.
possible toxicology along with that, if she mentions drinking.
Yeah.
But if someone doesn't and they just go report it, then they would just do a normal sane test kit. Yeah. So it depends on how truthful and how forthcoming she was with them.
So looking at this from the defense side, is that going to be an issue with her saying that she thought she was drugged? Because at this point, there's no way you could prove that, right?
Right. At this point, there isn't. For the defense, for the defense, that'll be a good thing. The burden of proof is on her
Right.
to prove that she was drugged. And that's the benefit of going immediately after the incident occurs, so you can have that stuff. You can be able to collect that stuff from your bloodstream.
Right.
But if defense side, I think it works for the defense that she's not able to prove that a substance other than alcohol. They may, the other side making sense, say, yeah, we were drinking, but
Okay.
I think it's too late for drugs, but yeah, I don't think it's nothing there anymore.
Interesting. All right. And also I wrote down 39. Let me see. Naya did not consent. The fact. Okay. Yep. We just went over that. Good. So we're good there. I'm going to keep it moving. Believe. Now, this was interesting. This part, section 40, 48 and 49 completely contradicts what Akademiks said, which is interesting.
Right.
He said that he went into the room. He saw that she didn't have any clothes on, and then he left. Right. And then when she got up, or he either woke her up, and he's like, hey, is everything good? You okay? And they have this whole back and forth about what happened the night before, which is what she's going into now. But she's saying that DJ Akademiks came into the room and assaulted her. And obviously he didn't mention this, but it's saying the whole thing went down, which is interesting because it says Naya recalls begging DJ Akademiks to stop assaulting her. She recalls her voice was faint as she continued to drift in and out of consciousness. That's crazy. Naya remembers crying for most of this assault, but losing her ability to move physically, Naya eventually gave up the fight in hopes that he would finish quickly. Naya recalls Mr. DJ Akademiks saying, open your mouth. He said, open your mouth. All right, we'll keep it moving from there. This was her last memory of the attack. According to Naya, she woke up confused the following morning, which this is just strange because she's saying he came into his room at 4 a.m. but then it goes to say she woke up confused the following morning. This is just strange how they put this. Probably not a big deal. I'm probably reading into it, but anyway, we'll keep it going. 52 says, according to Naya, she looked around the house and found him in the basement on the computer. According to Naya, she sat on the floor next to him and he asked her if she knew that his friends ran a train on her. Hey, Jesus. To which she said no. He kept asking, are you sure? He told her everything was all right and that he was good if she was cool. According to Naya, she was baffled and in disbelief, which is again consistent with what DJ Akademiks said. According to Naya, DJ Akademiks then asked her to follow him into another room where he showed her the contents of a small trash can that had what appeared to be vomit in it and 2 gold Magnum condoms wrappers, and asked, "You don't remember this?" Oh man. Naya was still in disbelief. She had zero recollection of ever being in that room the prior night. So they took it to they left the pool and took it to the house apparently. Dang. According to Naya, it appeared that after Khalif and Slime assaulted her by the pool, the pair had taken her into another room in the house and continued to assault her. I mean, that's going to be on video, right? And shout out to, we've got a couple people who are new to the channel. Shout out to Mixed Chick Samantha is up in here. Says, "Hi everyone, good to see you in here." Of course, Truth Over Lives still going crazy in the comments. Says, "Of course, anything she says is crazy to you." You said, "I'm a fan." I'm not a fan. I'm just reading this from with all the evidence I have, and it sounds wild to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. According to Naya, let me see. Hold on. She was in disbelief. All right. According to Naya, DJ Akademiks showed her the surveillance footage of Khalif assaulting her briefly and skipped through the video. According to Naya, as she watched the video, she looked like she was just lying there lifeless. Now we're going to look at this picture, and I know, Javier, you've seen the picture too, which it's just a picture. It's hard to tell what's going on. But to me, it doesn't look like somebody who's lifeless. I think that's again, it's just, I don't know. I know you have something you want to say on this. It's just interesting for me to hear them make all these accusations when we can see from some of the stuff that's been presented already that she wasn't lifeless. And I get there's a reason they're using this type of language, but I don't know. You'll have more insight to this than I will.
Yeah. They're using that language to show that she had no control over her actions and was essentially taken advantage of. She was watching video. She looked like she was like. I'll say this about that video. Well, we haven't seen the video, but we see the screenshot.
Right.
I will say this, that the screenshot doesn't look good to me.
Yeah.
The reason being is I'm paying attention to her arms. Her arms are just spread out, just all to the side. They're, she's having this encounter with 2 guys, and her arms are just laid out. Her hands aren't anywhere or doing anything, and so that was my only thing. I'm like, that looks bad. But like I said, it's a screenshot, so it's a still photo from 1 minute. You know what I mean? If you look at this video, I'm willing to bet if we were able to see this video, that we probably see what the police see, and what the police saw, and wouldn't think he was any wrongdoing. Maybe even see like it appears that she is aware of what's going on. The screenshot isn't a good indication.
Yeah, we'll get to the screenshot here in a second. I thought it was strange too, especially how her fists were. It seemed like they were clenched to the side. She's not holding on to anything. And even though her legs are up, and I don't know, it's just, it's
the only thing. I was like, legs in the air, but hands to the side, and I was like, well, that's why you need the video, because this is just a screenshot.
Yeah, and it's out there.
It could have been just a moment where she just set her hands to the side, and he just grabbed that moment.
There you go.
It's a screenshot. I mean, it's a shot from a single moment.
Hey, and that's what I'm saying. I mentioned it yesterday. A lot of y'all, if there were videos of what y'all had going on, it could probably look a little crazy too. So I guess we just don't. We just don't know. Anyway, all right, let's keep it moving. So she was laying there lifeless. According to Naya, DJ Akademiks then assured her that everything was okay. And as he spoke, he noticed Naya's demeanor He noticed Naya's demeanor had begun to change. Akademiks then hastily told her that his mother was on the way and would be there shortly, and proceeded to order her a lift back to Pennsylvania. According to Naya, DJ Akademiks asked her where her clothing was. She responded that she had it. He stood there with a suspicious look on his face. Naya later learned from the police that DJ Akademiks disposed of several items, bed sheets, etc., at the dumpster near his office. Presumably, DJ Akademiks was attempting to destroy evidence of Naya's assault. Now, Javier, would they say this if this wasn't true? That the police, because it says she learned from the police that he disposed of several items like bed sheets at his office.
He would. I don't know what the charge is in New Jersey, but I'm pretty sure they have a tampering with evidence charge.
Oh,
He would have been charged with that if that was the case. You're dealing with the police, and not so
yeah.
They're dealing with the filing of criminal charges and stuff like that. So if it was evident that he had hid evidence that they could particularly use in a case or investigation, then they would charge him with tampering with evidence. Now, the reason why I don't think that's the issue is because it says according to to Naya.
I see.
It says Naya later learned from police, so she's giving the account. It's not actually from the police.
Okay, I got you. So that makes sense. So yeah, but still, it's why would she make that up though? Is my thing. That one seems kind of like a weird thing for her to make up, just in her defense. So I don't know, man. If that's true, it's definitely not a great look for Akademiks.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. We're almost to page 12 here, so we're gonna keep going. According to Naya, DJ Akademiks asked where her clothing was. Okay, we got that part. Naya began feeling uneasy. She felt that Akademiks was attempting to take her clothes for some reason, presumably to hide whatever evidence she may have of what happened to her the night before. As these thoughts ran through her mind, so as not to alarm Akademiks, Naya remained composed as she waited for a lift to arrive. Naya said bye to DJ Akademiks and left his home. According to Naya, she called him asking for more answers. Okay, so we read this. This is pretty consistent on both sides. And she said, according to Naya, DJ Akademiks, she asked DJ Akademiks, well, you said that it was both of them, but you only showed me one. Can you please send me proof of this? So it looks like he sent her the video, to which DJ Akademiks sent a screenshot of the attack to Naya, laid out on the concrete in front of the pool with Khalif between her legs and Slime sitting on top of her face, presumably with his junk in her mouth.
Hey, yo.
Good God, man.
Yeah.
And that's what we see, and that's the screenshot that we see in this complaint, right? Now, when it comes to when it comes to the claimant getting more evidence for this case, is that something that's going to come later on as a part of discovery once they respond, or how does that whole process go?
Yeah. Which paragraph are you in?
Oh yeah, we're on 65, or actually, I just read 64.
Yeah, that comes out through discovery. You'll see that through the discovery process. It could come out as early as the answer, but I really doubt it, because those are really straightforward, sort of vague sort of answers. Defendant affirms allegations in paragraph. Defendant denies allegations in paragraph. So I doubt it'll come in the answer. But discovery is when you'll start finding a lot of stuff out about missing facts and missing pieces, even missing names of the parties. Because right now we're dealing with John Doe's and ABC corporations and things like that.
True.
A lot of this stuff will start filling itself in once you go through the discovery process.
All right, interesting. This was terrifying to her, as she knew within herself that she would never consent to any of this. Again, that seems like a little bit of icing, but we'll keep it moving. Even though she had been previously intimate with DJ Akademiks in years past. It was never a threesome or anything other than one-on-one consensual sex. Do you think that's going to have any weight to this case that they had been together before?
I would, as a defense attorney, I would use it as part of my defense because this woman is basically she's painting everybody out to be a predator. So here's DJ Akademiks. Yeah, here's DJ Akademiks, somebody who um, has access to, probably some, large, pretty large sample of women. Probably, he doesn't have to force himself on anybody, but
Yeah.
just for the sake's argument, 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
But
you're good.
I would say that, yeah, I would say that my client had been having consensual one-on-one encounters with Naya for years before this. It's always been consensual. It's always been one-on-one. He's never forced himself on her. Why does he have to force himself on her now? What's different about now? This was a regular any other night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why does DJ Akademiks just turn over and turn into a predator right at that moment? And we've never heard anything like this from you or any other allegations from any other women of this. So as a defense attorney, I would use that they had a past relationship and it has never been non-consensual ever. It's always been consensual. I would use that as part of my defense.
Yeah. Also, she came there because, according to DJ Akademiks and from her going to the house, she was there for him and to be with him. So I guess even as a part of your defense, you could say, hey, she understood the assignment in a sense, right? She knew she was coming there to be with him, just like she had been with them before. Just going to your experiences. Have you seen anything like this happen with married couples to where this type of case comes up and you have to defend either a husband or a wife in either case?
Not particularly with married couples, um, but I deal with a lot of domestic violence cases.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it a lot with just intimate couples, not necessarily with married couples. Those type they usually seek divorces and things like that.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, but in just regular cases, DV cases where partners are intimate with each other, I do see things like that a lot. I also see like when victims or victims usually are women. I'm not trying to sound sexist, but
No, yeah,
victims
for sure.
usually will get yeah, victims will usually get upset at the guy about something and they run to the police and use the police kind of as a control method or a get back method or
Wow.
things like that. I've seen them use law enforcement as a control factor in a relationship. And this stuff always gets muddy because you're talking about people who are having sex with each other.
Yeah,
So it's always
regularly.
emotions involved and things like
All right,
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, because somebody mentioned it in the chat about married people, and I had never even thought about that type of situation arising. It just seems like it would have to be a really specific circumstance that would come up, but who knows? I'm sure you've seen crazier things.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to 66. It says, as she arrived home, she felt where she felt the safest. Man, they are doing their job. I'm not mad at it. The reality of what happened began to set in. Naya also began feeling intense pain. Wow. She contacted DJ Akademiks saying she was hurt and wanted to see someone. Naya felt destroyed, but also afraid and wanted to know if there would be repercussions from DJ Akademiks if she were to seek help. She asked him for the complete footage. DJ Akademiks refused. He suggested she get tested for STDs and said he would do the same. Now, this is an interesting part here too, because DJ Akademiks said that he didn't do anything with her in a previous live stream. And now he's saying that he should get tested. I mean, that doesn't make sense either. Which
doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it doesn't make sense either. I did see where he was just basically saying like he came home one night and his two friends are the ones who had the encounter with her. You know, he just woke up and saw her the next morning. But
right,
the kid, the same kid, has his DNA in it. And I think that he even told a different narrative where they did do something.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Dang, that's not a good
I
look.
Where I saw it. Kind of, it's not. But I forgot where I saw it. But last night I was looking at his videos and streams and things like that.
Yeah.
But about that same kid, a person's, I don't know what words are inappropriate on this YouTube stuff, but
I know you're good.
Sperm.
Yeah,
sperm typically lives in a woman like no longer than 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, after about 5 days, really a sane kid would be no good. But I mean, she went and got it recently after this happened. His DNA was found. It was clear that there had to be a sexual encounter between DJ Akademiks and Naya around the time of incident.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder why he said that at first, that he didn't do anything.
I think he didn't just want to put himself just to say that he had sexual relations with her that night when there are those type of allegations going on, because it kind of throws the microscope even further on you.
Exactly. Yeah, he was so close to having his story consistent, but now this throws it in there and makes you wonder. Come on, man, what's going on here, Ak? You got to tell the whole truth, right?
Man, that's why you don't talk, man. Like when you
exactly
have a case going on, you just be quiet, because he don't realize how many times he's probably shot himself in the foot by giving these different narratives.
Yeah.
And he doesn't realize it because he feels like he's in the right and had no wrongdoing.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah.
And they even say it in here in 67. It says this was an odd statement, as it was proof that DJ Akademiks, who had not slept with Naya for over a year, engaged in unprotected intercourse with her. Still fearful. Naya contacted her immigration lawyer. Oh, okay. So I guess she's not from this country, who advised her to contact the police regardless of the outcome. Naya called the police and reported an incident of assault. They told her that due to the seriousness of the matter, she needed to appear in person to speak with them, and that she should also visit a local hospital for a SANE test. She went to the hospital, Penn State Health, St. Joseph, where the SANE test was performed. Police called Naya to schedule a meeting. According to Naya, during the meeting with police, a statement was taken. Photographs of her bruises and scars were taken. The officers asked her to participate in a recorded wire call with DJ Akademiks. Oh, man. Yeah, it's about to get crazy.
They do that sometimes.
Okay, well, talk about it, man. I know you have some experience with it. So how does it go down?
Well, it's so Miranda rights. You've heard of them, where police tell you have the right to remain silent. If you can't afford an attorney, won't be provided.
Yeah.
Well, that only occurs in what's called custodial interrogations, where they're asking questions to elicit criminal responses. Okay. But if two people are just having a casual conversation and this information is just voluntarily given, just happen to be listening, then they can use whatever is said on that phone call without bringing the person in or without reading his Miranda rights, because this is just spontaneous utterance. It's just voluntary communication between two parties. You know what I mean? So they,
wow,
for short of better terms, they tried to set them up.
Yeah,
but it's common in these type. It's common in these type of cases, though.
Yeah. So in the case of the law, I mean, is there something to be said for the police, in a sense, soliciting her to ask DJ Akademiks these questions? I mean, where does that fall when it comes to the legal side of things?
They are, I'll say this, they're skirting a very fine line. They're walking in the middle of a very fine line. I'll say
Yeah.
this because I would argue that they are interrogating my client because they're directing her to ask him these questions. So I
Right.
would argue, hey, my client needs to be read his Miranda rights, needs to be present, needs to have an attorney available.
Right.
But they can get away because it's a recorded call. Um, it's just her making the call in the presence. They know how to do these things to kind of skirt the line of the law. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I've seen it happen over and over. That it may be some case law or some law that's allowing them to be able to do this.
Wow. That's me. I'd be interested to break down just the whole process when it comes to, I guess, procedure on the police parts. But that's just interesting. And I'm sure it's benefited in more cases than it's hurt, to be honest. But
Oh yeah.
it still is an interesting, interesting point that they could, like you said, essentially almost set you up in a way. But I get it. It's part of the process. All right. It says, according to Naya, during the recorded wire call, police wrote down a list of questions for Naya to ask DJ Akademiks, but told her not to make it evident that the police were listening. Naya remembers asking DJ Akademiks to describe how she looked when he saw her in the pool. He answered, "You look like you were in the pool." Hey, according to Naya, on this call, DJ Akademiks graphically recounts and admits to having intercourse with Naya, even going as far as to describe her private parts being loose, stating, "I know that you're." Yeah, I can't read this, man. I
I don't
can't
know
read.
why he would tell this. I would be trying to stay on this woman's good side. Like I would not be telling. I wouldn't tell her anything like that, man. No, I wouldn't tell her
Aftercare,
anything
man.
embarrassing or
You got to have good
aftercare.
aftercare. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Based on information and belief, the evidence was used to obtain a warrant for the footage, and police secured the footage and other evidence. Yep, that was mentioned. According to Naya, the results of the SANE test provided evidence that Naya had been assaulted. In addition to the assault kit, Naya had images of bruises on her arm, back, buttocks, and legs that are evidence of the struggle she endured and the sheer brutality of the attack. Dang. At the time of her attack, Naya, who was 5'5" and weighed less than 115 pounds, well, she's in great shape. The attackers were approximately 5'10", 160 pounds, and 5'11", 180 pounds. Good Lord. Yeah, that's a lot of, that's like almost 400 pounds of force. That's wow. As detailed earlier, Naya was assaulted on the concrete pool deck, as evidenced by the photo below. Naya's body was lying limp and lifeless while Khalif and Slime proceeded to pull her back and forth on the concrete, causing bruising and lacerations on her body. Oh my God. All right. So this is what everybody came for. Now I had to blur this out just because it's on YouTube, but you can somewhat see the position and everything that's going on. This is rough, man. And I know I've heard mentioned too, there's a chair right there. Why didn't y'all use the chair? Put it in the grass or something. I mean, them being on the pool deck is just reckless. But again, they were all intoxicated, probably not thinking clearly not thinking clearly. This isn't a great look, and I can't imagine what the video looks like either. Like, man, oh man. But when it comes to this screenshot, I mean, as just looking at it, if you're reviewing the case like we are here, what direction would you lean from this when it comes to either how you're going to make your next move or just, I mean, what are your thoughts when you see this?
When I see this, I know. When I see this, like I said before, her arms being kind of flailed just beside her body in this still shot doesn't look good. It that would indicate um lifelessness or sort of unconsciousness. Um, they are on a concrete deck. with the lawn chair or whatever, pool chair, or beach chair, whatever that is, right next to the pool.
It's crazy,
Looks
man.
like grass next to it. It is crazy. It's just it's interesting, man. It really is. It's a still shot, so that's I put emphasis on that because it's always better to see the whole video because this could be just like a millisecond in a moment
Right.
that looks bad. Yeah, and it may not very well be the case at all. I mean, you could probably look at the video, you might see that she's walking out of the pool herself
And
and
laying
taking off
down.
her own clothes,
Right,
and
right.
laying down on the, you know what I mean? So it's
That's true.
I I don't like to get caught up on screenshots of actual video footages because it's a millisecond of a lifetime almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, this is the screenshot that Akademiks sent her. It's like, man, what are you thinking? Like, why would you?
Man, I know, man. Like
Why would you send her this?
Akademiks, yeah,
Oh,
man. A lot of
wow.
things academic, several things he did in this and during this whole altercation. I'm smacking my own head, like, dude,
Yeah, come on, man.
why would you do this, dude? Yeah, but
Yeah, and I think
it is
honestly,
what it is.
it seems like he just really didn't think anything was gonna come out of this. So, especially since he hadn't been rated at this point yet. But this is all bad. All right, so they scroll down and y'all can see some of the pictures of her injuries. I mean, she's got cuts on her leg, bruises on her knees, and her, I mean, God, that sounds terrible, man. It says Mr. Allen's hubris, guilty conscience, and sheer stupidity caused him to incriminate himself in several social media posts. I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. That's not, he should have kept his mouth shut. All right, so we go through this paragraph. Oh, okay, so they actually quote this YouTube video and they link to the video here. I'm not going to go through and read all this because we actually played this video yesterday, but it goes into detail of Akademiks talking about some of the things that happened. He definitely messed up and either knowingly or unknowingly lied because he says that he never slept with her when there's evidence that he clearly did. And there's a couple other things in here too. To me, that's the biggest one. So I don't know if he's going to say he didn't remember in his response or if they're just going to go ahead and double down, or I don't know. Let me ask you, Javier, what would you do in this case? You've got him on camera in 4K saying that, oh yeah, I didn't sleep with her. And then you got him contradicting himself. How would you address that in your response?
In my response, I would address that like he was trying to cover his tracks. Basically, just avoid all accountability.
Like he was scared, basically? Like he was scared of what would happen? Or is that not a good look either?
Ask me that question one more time, ClassE.
Yeah, you're good. So I'm just saying, if in your response, how would you address the fact that DJ Akademiks has gone on live stream and in interviews and contradicted himself when it comes to him having relations with Naya or intercourse with Naya?
The thing about them being on live streams is that they're recorded and can be used later. Every different account that he gives is something that I would save and will produce as evidence in my case against what would be against him.
Right.
Because if he's giving all these narratives, which one is true? And if he's saying one particular one is true, why should we believe him after he's given all of these narratives?
Absolutely.
And man, that's why you stop. And that's why you stop talking. It's just like you
Shut
don't go
up.
to social media and talk about stuff like this, man. I promise, man. Because he could have got out. He probably could have got out of a lot of this stuff, especially the defamation, if he would have not have taken to social media at all.
True. Yeah, and in a case, in a civil case, when several things are mentioned, does it make a difference if you prove that a couple of different things are true or that nothing's true? Or, I mean, how does that factor in?
So with these crimes, or with these not I won't say crimes, not criminal, but with these charges, there are elements to them.
Right.
Okay, and you have to satisfy all elements to those charges. If there's one missing, then you can't convict or you can't find someone liable or guilty for that. And for I looked it up. It's on my phone, but I don't want to touch my phone because it keeps signing me off and kicking me off.
Yeah.
But I looked up the defamation law for New Jersey, and I think I went over it, but where was it? But there had to be a false statement, a communication to a statement to a third party that's not Naya Miss Abash, um, uh, damaging to the reputation,
Right.
reckless regard, or whether it was true or not. Each one of those things that I named, the plaintiff has the burden of proof to prove each one of those to satisfy defamation. Let's say you have each element, but the whole time the statement was true, or
Mm.
yeah, let's just go with that. The whole time the statement was true, then you don't have defamation because you're
Right.
missing the element of it being a false statement. So certain elements that you check off, and when you're missing just one element, you don't have enough. You don't meet the criteria to be convicted of that crime.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I guess in this case, I mean, even if the smallest thing can be proven true, then that makes the whole complaint valid, right? I mean, they can still get something out of this complaint in a sense. Or does
Oh yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and these complaints, civil complaints, are public. Potentially could open you up to criminal prosecution, like you saw in the
Oh,
Diddy
interesting.
case, how
Right.
the feds picked up his case when Cassie filed her lawsuit. I don't think that that's going to happen in this case. I just wanted to point out that when these civil cases are made public, it could draw the eye of criminal prosecution. But with him already turning over evidence to the police, I don't think that's happened. But I just wanted to tell people that is possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for clearing that up. All right, there's a couple of text messages I want to get to, and then we'll go real quickly through these first cause of actions. But what I really want to get to lastly is you talked about it, the prayers, because I think this is important. But we'll go through. I want to show these text messages real quick. So this is a text message. It looks like, what are they saying? DJ Akademiks knew that his statements on December 30th. Oh, you got something? Go ahead.
No. You know, when you sent me this complaint, it stopped at page 15. But I just saw this like load more images tab or whatever.
Oh, no.
And now it's got the rest of it.
Yeah.
I had no idea you had the rest of it. But go ahead.
Yeah. It's got the whole thing in there. And if you want the
I see
the doctored version that I have, let me know and I can send you this one too. This is just has everything with the blur and all that. But here's here we go. It says DJ Akademiks knew that his statements on December 30th were misleading and false, as he was in the possession of text messages from Naya where she stated that she did not know what happened to her on July 16th, 2022, and that it was DJ Akademiks who informed her of the night's events. She even expressed to him the fact that she was really hurt and needed to seek medical attention. And here's the text messages. I'm going to get tested this week. Think you should too, to make sure you're good. Yes, I'm going now. I'm hurt really bad. So the way he says this really doesn't imply that he's saying he had intercourse with her. But then I guess he messed that up. If you're saying there's a video out there of him saying that, oh yeah, I did have intercourse with her, then this doesn't matter. But he just says, I'm going to get tested this week. That could be regular testing, I guess is how I would, how you could defend it. But anyway, it doesn't matter because he already said he did it. So we'll keep it moving. He says, yeah, she says, yes, I'm going now. I'm really hurt bad. It's unlike me to do this. And I don't even know the other guy's name. So I was just laying there. And then she called him apparently. And she says, I'm considering going for a assault kit for us to figure this out. Cause it's bits and pieces I remember and I'm still not okay. I mean, not sure what you want me to say. That's why I asked you. And he said, that's why I asked you while you were here if everything you did while I was sleeping you were okay with doing. And you said, yeah. So I don't know. Okay. So he's backing up his own story here. She said, I was passed out for most of it, but I wake up now and then. Also, I was in shock. I got most of the information from you before then. I never met the other guy. So he just took the opportunity, I guess. That's why I told you I don't judge, just trying to make sure you made the choice to do whatever you wanted to do. She says, always with you. Ooh. Uh-oh. So let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me finish reading this and then I'll ask my question. Always with you, but not this time around. I blacked out. I remember you waking me up during the night. Then they said you were trying to call and bring your friend to join in. Laugh out loud. Come on, act. So in this part, she says, always with you, but not this time around. So is this her saying that she didn't agree to being with him? Or I guess, how would you interpret this part?
Always with you, but not this time around. I would interpret that as um, I always was okay with doing it with you, but this time around was different. And I don't know to interpret that whether she means it was different, but not this time around, meaning with academics, or she's talking about just the whole entirety of the night.
Right, exactly.
Because she was like always with you, but not this time. So I don't know why this time with academics would be different. I would think she was talking about the other two guys.
Right.
I blacked out. I remember you waking me up during the night. Yeah, I mean, you always see these things where they remember some things and then don't remember this and don't remember this, and I remember this but don't remember this. I mean, it's
rough, man.
Yeah. Sorry, my defense attorney senses are tingling right now.
Yeah, you're over there feeling the pain.
When I hear, when I see, man. I ain't gonna call it complete BS, but when I see some things that just don't make sense, like I'm like,
come on, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your composure. I know that would be tough for me. That's probably the biggest reason I couldn't be a lawyer, because I would be in there throwing stuff, man. Like, But just for y'all that are watching still, we're gonna take a couple of calls here, probably in the next 5 minutes or so. So if y'all want to call in, if you have any thoughts or any questions you want to ask Javier M. Bailey II, make sure y'all get ready to call in. The link is in the pinned comment in the chat and in the description. Even if y'all just want to say what's up, y'all can call in and do that too. All right, so let's get to, I think most of this we pretty much know and went over, but let's get to these prayers. All right. I want to read these first cause of actions real quick, just the title. And then if there's something that you want to point out about these, Javier, you can. So first cause of action. Okay. Well, first, let me ask you, what are the causes of action?
So causes of action, okay, is basically that's just cause of action is just reasons why the actions are brought in, or the first cause of action. It's a damage claim, okay. It's reasons like you'll see negligent infliction of emotional distress.
Yep.
That is it's a damage that you can collect money from if DJ Akademiks is found liable. Okay.
Okay.
And so these next numbers will tell you why and what allegations in this whole complaint amounts to would cause her to have negligent infliction of emotional distress. So that's what this is. And the second cause of action would do the same. It'll be a different charge. What is it?
Defamation per se. Yeah.
Yeah. So the same thing. It's they lay out these causes of actions for which they're seeking money or relief for, and it just lists out what in the facts makes it out to be in sexual assault or defamation or negligent infliction of emotional distress. So
Okay, awesome.
that's all causes of actions are. That's all they are.
So the first cause of action would be negligent infliction of emotional distress. And you guys, if you want to read through this, you can, but I'm pretty sure you can figure out what they're going to point to in these sections. Defamation per se. Yeah. We've got third cause of action is the assault. All right. Fourth case of action is negligence. Woo. Man, I just butchered that one. I apologize, y'all. All right, so then we've got all of those in there, and now we'll get to, so this is, let me double check and make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, so this next part is going to be the prayer for relief. Now, Javier, you mentioned this earlier when we were first started going through the introduction. Can you just real quickly again explain what the prayer is and how and why it's important? Uh-oh, yeah, you're muted. We can't hear you, brother. Nope, still can't hear you. I'll try it on my side. He's gonna try it again. Let me see what some of y'all are saying in the comments too. Let me go to this one real quick. We'll wait for him to get back on there. Let's see. Imperial Stat said, read the rest of them texts. You can see she's capped. Yeah, she was. They were both building their case through the text messages for sure. Young Step is in here. He says, I'm back from my break, chat. I'm still working on myself, but I'm ready for music again. New album with Seth Langford coming out on June 25th. All right. Looking forward to it, man. Also, we've got Imperial Stat says it's more text where she says she's sorry and Axe says you won, I guess. Wow. Crazy. Young Steppa says, Javi, are you a real attorney? Imperial Stat says she's got text saying, I know you can never look at me the same. Yeah, let's see. This is on page 24. I should have those other text messages in here. Oh no, I don't have the rest of the text messages, which is unfortunate. So fourth case of action. All right, let's read through these while we're waiting on Javier to get reconnected. So, wherefore plaintiff prays that the court enter judgment in her favor and against defendants containing the following relief: a declaratory judgment that the actions, conducts, and practices of defendants complained of herein violate the laws of the state of New Jersey. All right, they trying to get them. An award of damages against defendants in the amount to be determined at trial, plus prejudgment interest. Whoa, what is that? Hey, yo. What is prejudgment interest? To compensate the plaintiff for all monetary and economic damages. I guess this is her retainer fees, lawyer fees, all that. An award of damages against defendants in the amount to be determined at trial, plus prejudgment interest to compensate plaintiff for all non-monetary and or compensatory damages, including but not limited to compensation for her mental anguish, humiliation, embarrassment, stress and anxiety, emotional pain and suffering, and emotional distress. An award for punitive damages in the amount to be determined at trial. Prejudgment interest on all amounts due. An award of costs that plaintiff has incurred in this action, including but not limited to expert witness fees, as well as plaintiff's reasonable attorney's fees and costs to the fullest extent permitted by law, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. All right, good Lord. Yeah, we're gonna have to get Javier to cover that here in a second. Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good, man. You're back. Let me turn off.
Yeah,
Let me turn
sorry
off
about
your. See. Echo cancellation off. All right, cool. We'll get you back up there. Let me double check and make sure I've got
I know young Step ain't asked me, Javier, are you a real attorney?
Man, you see that BS, man? What is going on?
Man, Stepper, man, we in the same group, man. Stepper, man, I don't know why you acting clueless today.
Oh man, he's just over there being extra. He wanted you to say hey to him. That's all that is. All right, so let me see. You should be.
What's up, Stepper?
Let me see. You should be good. Let me make sure I got you on here. All right, let me try this. And we're going to go here. There you are. All right, we got you back up there. Let me see. There was a couple people in the in the chat too. Imperial Stat says, I don't like ACK, but it is what it is. The girls line. Yeah, well, Akademiks lied a little bit too. Truth Over Lies is over there with the horse, the horse emoji. Yo, he's mad, man. All right, here we go. So I just read through the prayer for relief, but we can go over it again real quick. And again, if y'all want to call in, if you have any questions for Javier Bailey, y'all can definitely call in and ask. The link is in the pinned comment in the chat and in the description. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiff prays that the court enter judgment in her favor and against the defendants containing the following relief: a declaratory judgment that these actions, conducts, and practices of defendants complained of herein violate the laws of the state of New Jersey. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? They're just saying everything we said in the complaint is true.
Right.
And then we've got an award of damages against defendants in the amount to be determined at trial. Plus, now this is the part I had a question about: prejudgment interest to compensate the plaintiff for all monetary and economic damages. Oh Lord. What's the...
So this is the
Go ahead.
Yeah. What were you asking about, the prejudgment interest?
Yeah, all of it, the whole thing.
I don't see a lot about prejudgment interest. So this is I'm not really used to dealing with prejudgment interest. I've never seen it. Yeah. But what's unique about this is that usually in prayers I see them ask for an amount. So you'll see them ask the court for, hey, $1 million, $10 million.
Yeah.
But here they're saying we're waiting to ask for the award amount. We'll just let that be determined at trial. And so that would, to me, will tell me that their side intends to go all the way unless they can reach a settlement number that they think is reasonable, and they'll take it. But man, just from that one line, it tells me like they want to take this all the way.
Now I've heard,
or they are willing to.
Yeah, I've heard this type of back and forth be compared to a game of poker or chess. So would you, if you're the offense attorney on this complaint, would you see this as more as a chess move of them saying, all right, y'all, if y'all want to go there, we're going to go there, by not actually putting an amount?
Do I see it as a chess move for which side?
For the plaintiff. Yep.
Yes, I do. I do. I think it's brilliant, to be honest. Because it doesn't let them know. It gives them a sense like, well, we don't know what we should settle for. Or can we even settle this? Or it kind of keeps them on pins and needles, and that's not a bad feeling to have the other. That's not a bad feeling to have the other side on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, one of the attorneys was messing with me. Through
No,
the
you're
video.
good. You're good. You're good.
They don't leave me alone around here. But
Oh, go ahead.
man, what was I just saying?
Yeah,
They throw me off, ClassE, man.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So you were just talking about how, as the claimant or the defense, I mean, this would kind of be something that could possibly be seen as a chess move, maybe not. But then you said it's brilliant on their side because of what factors?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it keeps them on. Yeah, it keeps them on pins and needles. It would actually make me reach out to them. Would be my logic and why I would do it. I would think it would make the other side reach out to me for a settlement sooner.
Right.
And actually try to resolve it by actually trying to scare them and think that we're ready to go all the way on this thing, and we're not. And we're really not trying to do that at all.
Now, just from the review we've done today, do you see where the plaintiff has any leverage in this situation when it comes to the case, or this action, I should say?
As to possible settlement, or like taking it all the way to trial and saying,
yeah, both. Just winning this overall. I mean, what type of leverage do you see the plaintiff having?
I was trying to weigh about how strong this case was.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has the leverage with the defamation. I really believe that Akademiks was reckless in his regard to what was true or what was not. Now, according to him, he's gonna say, "I know the truth." You know, I know the truth. I saw the video. I gave it to police.
Right.
But when you have text messages of your own from her where she's saying she doesn't know what happened, and she's even asking you to show her so she can remember, then you can't just say, go on the internet to millions of people, 100,000 people, and say, man, it hurt me that you willingly had, intercourse with my two friends while I wasn't here.
He was hurting, man.
You can't do. He was hurt. I can tell, dude. I read that tone. That tone jumped right off that page, man. I was like, hey, he was really hurt. I was like, he was really hurt. Right?
Yeah, he liked her a lot. It's sad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, man. I think that's everything we're gonna get to on this complaint for now. I know we could go. There's so much more we could go through on this, but I want to say I appreciate you taking your time. I know your time is so valuable. I wanted to. We don't have anybody that called in, so maybe while you're saying your goodbyes, I want to see if y'all have any questions in the chat. But before we get done with that, can you let the people know where they can find you if you're taking any clients? If you want them to be able to contact you, can you let them know where they can find out your information?
Sure. Well, I'm Javier and Bailey. I'm easy to Google. If you wanna look me up. Yeah. Right now, I'm not gonna advertise taking any more clients because my caseload is huge and I'm trying to cut it down. So
there you go.
It's a good problem. It's a good problem to have, but I need to cut down my caseload right now because I get a lot of active cases right now. So yeah, good problem to have. Good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure. It's a blessing, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Shout out and salute and thank you to Javier and Bailey II, showing major love tonight and giving some great insight as well, man. I definitely learned a lot tonight. The law is, in my opinion, it's just so fun to cover and learn about. And we definitely got to do this again because, as you know, we've got so many other cases in the music community going on. So you're welcome to come back to the show and do this anytime, man.
Oh man, I can't wait, man. I wish I would have caught you when Diddy stuff was going on, but that's gonna come back around. I think the next big thing is a federal investigation. They'll file charges, and then I think probably we can talk again or something.
Absolutely, man. I'll be here for it. Anytime you want to call back in or set something up, you just let me know.
All right, man. Sounds good. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Blessings to you, man. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.
All right, man. I'll see you.
All right. Mr. Javier M. Bailey II. And as some of y'all know, I'm Javier LaFleur. Wow. That was amazing, man. It was dope to hear from a true professional, somebody who's in it, who's been through it, who's seen it before, and definitely got some great insight. So I don't know. Y'all have to let me know what you think. Is this going to be an uphill battle for DJ Akademiks? Does he have the leverage? Is Naya most likely going to get a check before this even goes to trial? Is she telling the truth? Is DJ Akademiks telling the truth? So many questions we have. And I definitely, though, there's a lot of insight that you can take from this, just that you can apply to your own life with how you move with your friend circle, with how you move through different people, and with how you just conduct business in general. It's great to have, you know, someone who's a lawyer and an attorney like Javier that actually knows and understands their stuff. So let's go ahead and give him another round of applause. I'm with Hollywood Co. on this. 1000%. Hollywood Co. says, I changed my mind. Axe needs to just settle. Yeah, he needs to go ahead and get it over with, in my opinion. He really, other than feeding his ego, he really has nothing to gain from this going to trial, because you're just going to give more information to the court of public opinion, who, amid everything that's going on with Drake and Kendrick, people are already just going against Akademiks for his stance during that. You don't want to give the court of public opinion more ammo, especially when you have such a public brand and platform. So, Co, I'm with you on that, man. He just needs to go ahead, write that check, get it over with, and then write out this she's lying narrative until he dies and I know the truth. And then if he wants to leak the videos at some point, if he gets his DVR back, it might even help his case. But again, I don't know from a legal standpoint if that would be something that would be wise for him to do. So I agree. He's got bigger fish to fry, other things to worry about. Just write that check, man. It's easy for me to say, though, because y'all know it's going to be in the 7, possibly 8 figures. Who knows? Imperial Stats says, never let the homies over when you got a girl coming through. TG Beats is in here. It says classy news. We out here, man. We out here doing our thing. All right, y'all. We're going to be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Friday edition of the Music Morning Show. Also tomorrow night, y'all know we've got another episode of the Song of the Night Live. You get a chance to win $100, get your music heard, and you get a chance to win a Shure 55 SH microphone and 2 door prizes. All right. So I better see y'all tonight. Hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you to everybody who tuned in for the first time. Thank you to everybody who's been here. Shout out to all the members, everyone who showed love, man. Make sure y'all like the video on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you had a good time, because we've got some more things coming your way. All right. Y'all keep it. Excuse me. Y'all know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classic. We go. Peace. Woo. I've been talking too much.
I'm inside, that's why I'm inside. Because your man, he just ain't worth it, he don't fit your vibe. I'm like the perfect guy, I mean, I know about everything, so we should I mean, as a guy, best friend, I see the window. His head's off with your man, so you a widow. Was this my intent from the start? I mean a little, I mean a little, I mean a little. As a guy, best friend, I see the window. Heads off with your man, so you a widow. Was this my intent from the start? I mean a little, I mean a little, I mean. Am I act too classy and girl, I dress too flashy? Just spent a whole check on you. Since when was you into fashion? And all these fast cars I got, since when was you into fashion? You like it slow with some passion. I like some good brain, the tongue thing you do's just too distracting. I know, I know. I'm tryna be a next man for real. Girl, if you can't, then I'll do it for real. For real. Who else has been there for you? Who else is giving time? Who else has got a ton that makes you come that isn't mine? Who else without me from the nosebleeds? That's just my kind. Yeah, you just my kind. Yeah. As a guy, best friend, I see the window. His head's off with your man, so you a widow. Was this my intent from the start? I mean a little, I mean a little. my intent from the start? I mean a little, I mean a little, I mean. As a guy best friend, I see the window. His head's off with your man, so you a widow. Was this my intent from the start? I mean a little, I mean a little, I mean a little.